Oh, boy. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie. Brad, happy to be with you here today.
Yeah.
I saw you guys had some storms come through, a couple of power outages here and there. That's always fun, huh?
Yeah, I had a tough time getting into work today. So, if you're familiar with the area, you know the ramp to go off of 64 onto 70 to take the Stan Musial Bridge into St. Louis is closed down.
Oh, no.
So I
Yeah.
can't go in that way. It's been that way for about a week, maybe 2 weeks now. They're doing all sorts of road construction on 64. So my backup route was then to take 64 and get on the Eads Bridge and come into town because the Eads Bridge dumps you onto Washington. Well, today I get off there after being in a load of backup traffic, and I get off there, and they have the exit to the Eads Bridge shut down because where it dips down under there, I guess it filled with water. And so then I had to get back on 64,
Yep.
and it was just terrible. And so I usually get here at about 10 to 8, and I got into work today probably at 8:15 or 8:30.
Yeah.
So it was a 30-minute
all that
delay.
extra time. And when the water starts to rise like that, it's a little bit harder to know where the potholes are if you don't remember the pattern.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Well, if you are on a given route, you kind of remember where the big ones are, and you have a good idea of, okay, now I need to get in this lane. Now I need to hug the curb. Now I need to stay away from it. So as long as you remember the pattern, like the Konami code, then you're fine. But other than that, when it rains, you're in trouble because you're going to be splashing down into some of those potholes, which are not fun. So we do have a YouTube live chat poll up in live right now. What is the poll for today?
Well, today's poll is flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? And I got a couple options here. Fully support. I trust the government to keep us safe. Mostly support. They're useful for law and order, but we need limits. Mostly oppose. Don't trust the government. And then completely oppose. It's clear government overreach.
Oh, we're going to talk about that, too.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So if you have thoughts on that, if you're listening and you have thoughts on that, text us at 314-241-9797. Save us in your phone as 97.1 or the Annie Frey Show, but save that number and text us your thoughts on flock cameras. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and vote in the YouTube live chat poll.
Right. And if you are looking at a flock camera right now, I would not recommend giving them any hand gestures. Yeah, don't do it yet. You don't want to be texting and driving. Okay, so that's going to be a good one, and we will talk about that. I know you tried to get Kane, the professional wrestler, on to talk about flock cameras.
Yeah,
but
his name's Glenn.
Sometime.
Glenn Jacobs. He's the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. I saw him on News Nation a while back. Not a while back, but a little bit away. A while ago, and he was talking about flock cameras. I thought, man, he'd be a great guest. They have not gotten back to me yet, but we are trying to get somebody on.
Yeah. Okay. So the Senate committee is going to come down on Dr. Anthony Fauci. And it's interesting because when I read the articles, do you notice they don't call him Dr. Anthony Fauci anymore? They just say Anthony Fauci.
Oh, really?
Is there a certain... I don't know if that's intentional or I don't know if that's just some sort of, AP writing style I'm unfamiliar with. But it was like that in some of the copy today when I was anchoring on air when we were covering this. And the vote happened. Let's go to clip number 2 if we can play that.
Okay.
I think this is where they take the vote, right? This is it.
Yeah.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Langford.
Aye.
Senator Scott.
Yes.
Senator Hawley.
Aye.
Senator Moreno.
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
Senator Ernst.
Aye.
Senator Moody.
Aye.
Senator Peters.
No.
Senator Hassan.
No.
Senator Blumenthal.
No.
Senator Fetterman.
No.
Senator Kim.
Fetterman, no?
Senator Gallego.
No by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
No by proxy.
Senator Paul.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5. On the vote by proxy, and for the record only, the yeas are 0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed to.
Wait, so the Fetterman said no on that one with the votes?
Yeah, I was listening to that on my way into work today, and he was no on everything. Or, well, he was against the Republicans on everything on that. So every attempt to delay it, yeah. So that guy, whenever the chips are down and it comes time for him to vote, he says all the right things, but his votes still line up with the Democrat Party.
All right. You called me out on that. I'll never forget it because you were so right. When it came to Fetterman, I said, well, how about that? This Fetterman guy, I'm starting to like him. And you said, well, until you look at his vote pattern,
Yep.
like, let's go look at it. Yeah, you're right. You got me. The TV and appearances on Fox News, it gives you, I think, maybe not the clearest impression of what you need to know about his voting. So this was going down, and it reminded me, if you're in that hearing, you can pretty much say anything as long as it's in agreement or not. You can say yippee-ki-yay, which means probably yes to them, right? You don't have to say yes or I. You can give a little quick sentence with the answer after it. I kind of like that. And I think from now on, if I'm in a hearing or something, I'm going to try to top some of the other ones that we just heard in that voting. I think yippee-ki-yay is going to be my yes vote from here on out. So I saw this too. Apparently, the U.S. Senate committee has obtained a backup copy of Anthony Fauci's iPhone. That's good.
Yes.
What do you think he was texting about? And I'm guessing, let me phrase the question this way. There's the Anthony Fauci that stood in front of the public and gave advice to the public. And then there's the Anthony Fauci of what was going on behind the scenes. How often do you think those two are side by side? Or do you think for the most part, 90% of the time he's telling the public one thing and doing something else in the background? I think it's like 90% of the time.
Oh, yeah. He is not telling the truth most of the time. He is very deceptive, very cloak and dagger. I think he's justified why he isn't telling the truth. But I think he is very much so, lying to the American public.
Okay, you say justified. You'll have to explain that.
Yeah, so like whenever they asked him about masks, remember at the very beginning how he flip-flopped on that?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
Right,
why
and
did you
he
flip-flop
basically-
on that? And he's like, well, I lied in the beginning because... I think that because... he didn't want there to be a shortage of masks for healthcare workers, which seems like a noble thing. I don't believe him. I think he was lying, and then he's like, ooh, mask, popular amongst people. I'm going to then get behind that and back that up. Because, like, whenever you read the diary or you see the diary entries, he was very, oh my gosh, dude. Ladies, if you're out there, find you a man who loves you like Anthony Fauci loves Anthony Fauci. That man was enthralled with the media coverage, and he threw himself wholeheartedly into it. But I think in his brain, he has justified every one of the lies that he's told.
It was strategic. You need to do more Linda Richmond coffee talk. That's the Anthony Fauci impersonation.
Coffee?
You basically have.
Coffee
Yeah.
talk?
You familiar with that skit from the 90s?
Was
Mike
that
Myers?
Mike
from
Myers? Yeah,
Saturday
talk
Night Live?
amongst yourselves. I'll give you a
Yeah, that's-
topic.
That's Anthony Fauci voice.
But yeah, more
Same
gravel
voice.
is Anthony Fauci.
Oh, that's
Talk
very good.
amongst yourselves.
So you have the Anthony Fauci that, you're right, says things like, oh, we needed to make sure we didn't run out for healthcare professionals because they really need to wear these masks, and that's why we did this. But at the same time, when you're lying about healthcare advice, that is bad. And also on top of that, what other things did he lie about when it came to healthcare advice? And there's a lot of things that we're finding, and maybe the Wuhan lab could be the biggest one, because if they were funding gain of function research, then that is a huge deal that we, as the United States and Anthony Fauci, may have been signing off on what started this whole thing to begin with. That is some troubling information.
Well, let's put it like this. Anthony Fauci, on behalf of the people of the United States, was doing that without permission. And let's also not forget that the president who said, hey, let's not do gain of function research, that was Barack Obama. That was a Democrat president. And Fauci's like, I know better than him.
Yeah. And now he sits there and pleads the fifth, if he can or not. This was clip number 1. Here's Rand Paul, and he has not given Fauci any slack.
No
Good for
quarter.
him.
8 days ago, Dr. Anthony Fauci sat before this committee in the witness chair under subpoena for conduct covered by the President Biden's full and unconditional pardon, reaching back to 2014. Dr. Fauci faced no risk of federal prosecution. All he had to do was tell the truth. More than 100 times, though, he refused. The chair ruled that Dr. Fauci's assertion of the Fifth Amendment privilege was unsupported in light of the pardon and the testimony he offered in his opening statement. The chair directed Anthony Fauci to answer. He refused again. That is what we are voting on today.
Just had to tell the truth. All you had to do was tell the truth. That was it.
Yeah, the I don't know how much of the hearing you got to listen to, but the main argument from the left side of the aisle, the Democrats on the thing, was he had to do this to protect himself from any potential, self-incrimination. And the right's argument is basically he had immunity. There was nothing that he was going to be convicted of unless he lied under oath. All he had to do was come out here and tell us the truth.
Yeah. Unless he lied under oath. That's making a whole different problem on top of that. All you had to do is tell the truth. So you have Dr. Fauci, who is looked at as a hero, and the left will look at him as perhaps a martyr, like they do with some of their other figureheads.
So gross.
I think we're going to look at him as a huge liar and someone that caused devastation through this pandemic. And rightfully, we're going to go back and look at this. And, when CNN was playing the death count on their screen, that's basically the Fauci count. That's the body count for Dr. Fauci. If he was responsible for the origins of all of this and working this gain of function through China, and we can give China, let's say it's not all Dr. Fauci's fault. We can put China in that same realm. If they were the ones that were, commingling with this type of gain of function research at the Wuhan lab, then sure, we can put Fauci and friends on there, and friends would be China. Definitely not friends to the United States if the truth comes out and it looks as bad as it sounds, especially now that we have his cell phone data that he probably thought was all erased, but we got the backup copy. Not looking good. All right. When we come back, there was a couple of stories I saw posted, one on KSDK, one Fox 2, but this may be one of the most wild headlines I've read in news. Do you want me to just read the headline before we go to the break? This is such a wild story. Prosecutors seek adult murder charge against 15-year-old accused of killing while dressed as a clown in East St. Louis. What a headline.
Wow.
We're going to talk about that coming up after the break on 97.1 FM Talk.
Suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
It is the season for enjoying that backyard, and there's no better way to do it than with my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Mark Cox here. For the month of August, they will give you 20% off the bottom line when you mention my name as you reach out to Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Listen, they've been at this since 1968, owned and operated by the same family all of those years, and it makes a difference. And if you look at the beautiful creations they have in their showroom in the Chesterfield Valley, you'll see what I'm talking about. The sunrooms, the screen rooms, the pergolas, the all-season rooms they can put together for you are just fantastic. Now, they do fences and decks as well, of course. And the fences and decks are great because, of course, these days you can get that Vecadec vinyl, which is just maintenance-free and makes your life so much easier. Reach out to them today. Tell them you heard Mark Cox bragging about them. It's ChesterfieldFence.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ziprecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I heard a rumor that when Anthony Fauci was just about to go and testify and plead the fifth, this was the song he was listening to in his headphones leading up to sitting down in front of the committee. Is that true?
I think that's a rumor.
Can we pot this up real quick? Yeah. Gonna plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. I'm pretty sure he was. I might have just made that up.
Probably watching Dave Chappelle skits about pleading the fifth.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in. Joining us now is a favorite of the show, at least for mine, Hans von Spakovsky. How are you, sir?
Ryan, I'm doing just fine, thanks.
Advancing American Freedom, senior legal fellow, and we're talking about Anthony Fauci and held in contempt for not answering questions. He goes there and he has, a whole gaggle of lawyers, whatever group of lawyers are called. I don't know if it's a gaggle, but there is a group of people that are surrounding him and advising him, telling him not to say anything. It doesn't look good for him. And I think Rand Paul sums it up. All you had to do is just tell the truth and you would have been fine.
Well, he's right about that. If he had told the truth, he couldn't be prosecuted for any answers he gives about the time when he was head of the whole COVID pandemic effort by the federal government, because he's been pardoned for all that. Look, the only reason for him to try to take the fifth was because it would have been embarrassing to tell the truth, because the personal diary that's been released, now some of his phone records show that he was lying. He was lying the whole time he was doing this. He was lying to the public. He was lying to Congress. He was lying about the effects of COVID. I mean, he would make a great con man because of the way he acted. That's why he didn't want to tell the truth. That's not a valid reason for claiming the Fifth Amendment.
Hey, Hans, I had a question along the lines of the lawyer thing. So I watched the original hearing where he was pleading the fifth, and at the beginning, Fauci's lawyer was sitting next to him, and then him and Rand Paul got into a dust-up, and he got escorted out. Something about not having permission. Then today, I listened to a back and forth between Paul and I believe it was Blumenthal, talking about wanting to have Fauci's lawyer back in to basically explain why he was pleading the fifth. Was Paul's dismissal of Fauci's lawyer justified?
I think so, because he was interfering in the questions being asked by Paul. Remember, look, this was a Senate hearing. This wasn't a criminal trial. When you go into a Senate hearing, you have no right to have your lawyer with you. That's up to the committee, particularly the committee chair, whether he's going to extend you that privilege to allow you to have your lawyer there. But if you as a lawyer, you're not the witness. If you as the lawyer are constantly preventing your client from answering questions, the chair, and Rand Paul did this, has the full power to exclude you and throw you out of the hearing.
Right. I've seen a lot of TV shows and courtroom dramas, and whenever a witness is called up, I can't remember them sitting on the lap of their lawyer to answer questions while they sat there next to the judge. But going back to the idea of the lawyer and pleading the fifth, the idea that Rand Paul brought this up was saying that this doesn't apply in this situation. So was it lawful for him to plead the fifth, or was that really not applicable?
There are court decisions on this, including by the U.S. Supreme Court, and there's actually a federal statute on this that says you can only plead the Fifth Amendment if there is a valid reason to believe that what you're going to say could lead to your criminal prosecution. If you can't plead the fifth because what you're going to say is embarrassing or somehow going to disgrace you or make you an object of ridicule, none of those are valid reasons for refusing to take the Fifth Amendment. It is not an absolute right. And in this case, I think it's pretty clear Fauci abused that right by claiming the fifth when he knows he can't be prosecuted for, as Rand Paul correctly said, telling the truth.
Right. And I understand when you have records of the journal, it gives you an idea of what he was thinking in that moment and gives really documentation. When it comes to the cell phone, what kind of information, the backup information from that phone, what kind of things can that tell you that would be different from a journal?
Well, I'm assuming that they're getting his text messages that he had on his cell phone. And, you know, you may at the end of the day, or maybe the end of the week, you write up in your diary what happened that week. But texts are sent in real time. So the texts are going to be evidence of what he was saying to the governor of New York about shutting the state down in direct communications with him. It's not going to be the same as him a week later in his diary writing what he claims he told to the governor of the state of New York about shutting down the state.
Well, is there a potential, and let's just kind of, hypotheticals, obviously, with the text messages, but would it show that who was influencing him in the decisions that he were making? So he's always said, we got to trust the science. We got to be guided by the science. We're only going to be looking at what the CDC and the reports are showing. Can these text messages potentially show that maybe it was a political factor in some of the decisions he was making?
Oh, yeah. And look, we already know the personal diaries show that. And in fact, the personal diaries show that he seemed more interested in his own fame across the country than in leading a real health effort against COVID, the COVID pandemic.
Hey, Hans, I have a question here, and it's from our chat. And this person says, if you want answers, don't entrap him. If you have evidence of guilt, put it forward. It's pretty simple. My question is, was there a possibility of Anthony Fauci being entrapped? And what could he have done outside of pleading the fifth to avoid any sort of entrapment?
Well, I don't know what they're talking about with entrapment. They obtained his personal diary in which he was himself relating everything that happened during that entire period when he was a government official. How is it entrapment to ask him about specific things that he may have said in his own diary? That's not entrapment. If, for example, you find in the personal diary that he says, I told the governor of New York he ought to shut down the state, it's not entrapment to say, well, your personal diary, you say that you told the governor of the state to shut down the state, but publicly you denied that. Why would you do that? Why would you publicly lie about your private discussions with the governor of New York? How's that entrapment?
Yeah, and just kind of to follow up on that, what even legal peril would he have had if he would have said or responded to those questions?
He had none. if he said, look, if Rand Paul said to him, look, your personal diary shows that you lied to Congress when they asked you about the dangers of COVID, if he said, yes, that's correct, that's what I said in my diary, and yes, I lied to Congress, he's been pardoned for that. Lying to Congress under oath normally, yeah, that is a federal crime, but he was pardoned for any lies that he told during the time of the pardon. And remember, the pardon goes all the way through January 19th, 2025, which was the day before Joe Biden left office and Donald Trump was inaugurated as the new president.
Wow. I know you've been following this for a while and there's still more. If people wanted to read your work and follow you on social media, things like that, where can they go?
They can go at H. von Spakovsky or go to Advancing American Freedom.
Perfect. Hans von Spakovsky, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on here in St. Louis.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Who knows? Maybe by the time we get off the air here, there could be more news about this story. It's something that is very active as we speak, so you don't want to go anywhere, honestly.
Man, I could have talked to him all day. I still have so many more questions, but I'll text him off air and ask him.
Hans is so good at this. I mean, he is absolutely one of the best, and he does a great job at really explaining it in a way that I can understand. A layman that watches Law and Order once in a while. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you are looking to fix up the situation you're dealing with when it comes to your HVAC, I want to encourage you to trust Air Comfort Service to give you the knowledge and the information you need to make an educated, smart decision for the HVAC in your home. If your air conditioner is getting older or if you've been told it needs repair and you're not sure if you should repair or replace it, listen up for Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091. The team at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation are excited to launch a new, totally free online tool that helps you make the decision on when it comes to repairing or replacing your air conditioner, your furnace, even your entire HVAC system. If you're a homeowner and you live in the greater St. Louis area, go to their website, aircomfortservice.com/repair or replace. Enter information from a repair quote that you've received, and they are going to tell you what you should consider doing next and why. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Online at aircomfortservice.com/repair or replace.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims, and in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I love a clean house. If you do too, you need to get a hold of my friends at Zero Res. Mark Cox here. They're having an end of summer sale. Whether you're looking to clean up before or after your big barbecue or get ready for a late season graduation party, call Zero Res. Celebrate this month with 2 rooms of carpet cleaned and get 2 rooms free. Plus, you can take 20% off air duct services and products. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Ask for the 97.1 special.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? Do you fully support them and trust the government to keep you safe? Do you mostly support them and think that they're useful for law and order, but they do need some limitations? Do you mostly oppose them? You don't really trust the government? Or do you completely oppose them and see them as a clear violation of your rights? Jump on Annie's YouTube page and vote, or you can text us at 314-241-9797. I'm monitoring that chat right now. And if you have any thoughts on that, text us. Let us know what you think, and we will read those thoughts on the air. The time is 12:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a 90...
I pretty much want to Weird Al every one of these songs to make it into a plead the fifth situation in honor of Anthony Fauci. Let's listen to this. I think we can probably fit it in there. Anthony Fauci, plead the fifth. Kind of fits a little bit.
Yeah, it's I pled the fifth.
I pled the fifth. You know he was jamming out to something. Listen into it on his little Dre Beats earbuds.
Anthony Fauci with Beats is not what I had on my bingo list.
Or no, it would be the Ray J ones or whatever.
Oh,
the
man.
one
Yeah,
below that
Raycons.
is. Raycons.
The big ones, though. He's over his head, walking in with a hoodie on.
All right, here it is. I think the hook is coming up, isn't it? So plead the fifth. Oh, I missed it. Oh, that's all right. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in.
Oh, man.
Keep an eye
You know
out.
what? I'm going to have
Yeah.
Grok write that for us.
Please. We can get Grok to do that. Would be awesome. I have, through our Audacy accounts, we have the Google music making. We can put those lyrics in there and have them redo it. Do you think we should do that by the end of the show?
If you can manage that, I
Well,
think
you
that
got
would
it
be
too.
fun.
Anyone with the Audacy accounts, you can
man.
go and do the Google AI. We got it as part of our corporate account. And I've done some videos with them, and it's pretty amazing, honestly. All right, we have a couple of stories here. These are local stories. And tell me if this is not one of the craziest headlines you've read in St. Louis. It said, St. Louis, wrong one, sorry. I got two here. One said, prosecutors seek adult murder charges against 15-year-old accused of killing man while dressed as clown in East St. Louis. And then the next line is, Ring camera footage captured the clown approaching a home, looking into the camera and saying, quote, I have a gift for you. 15-year-old will be charged as an adult.
The 15-year-old dressed as a clown?
Went and stabbed an old man dressed as a clown.
I have a gift for you. I have one for you too, buddy.
Life in prison, I guess. That's a weird thing to say.
No, I've got a Ring doorbell, and if somebody dressed as a clown comes up and they're like, I have a gift for you.
I see.
Yeah, I will defend my home.
Yeah, I think so too. This is East St. Louis. Prosecutors have moved to charge 15-year-old as an adult after he accused of stabbing and killing a man while dressed as a clown. Prosecutors on Wednesday filing that, and this said it was 10 p.m. Monday. Report of a body in a roadway. St. Clair County coroner identified the victim as John Wesley Allen Sr., 78 years old of St. Louis. Died of multiple stab wounds. Neighbors said they saw the teenager going door to door in the area, peering into windows and carrying the weapon. He was twirling the knife, and it was a pretty big knife. The light gleamed off of it, one neighbor said. Less than an hour before the homicide, Ring camera footage captured the man approaching a home, looking at the camera and saying, I have a gift for you. This is on KSDK's write-up for it. Isn't that something?
Have you seen those videos of those people that will dress like clowns and pose and are, like in kind of weird areas, be it in dark parking garages or along a trail or whatever, and just try to look scary? Have you
kind
seen
of?
those?
I would say that they don't play that game in St. Louis, man. You are risking your life if you are playing that.
Well, those sort of stopped because there was one that came out where the guy dressed as a clown, like did the ominous walk toward the guy, and the guy drew his gun.
Yeah, rightfully so.
And the clown stopped. He's like, whoa, man, it's just a prank. It's just a prank, man. The guy was like, I don't think it's funny.
For a prank. Yeah. Is that what the guy said? I don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
So they have a quote here from SLU, a clinical professor who researches violence in children. She said when she first heard about this case, called it anomaly. Someone doesn't just kill somebody. There are things that lead up to that. I don't know. I think people just kill people without things leading up to it. This dude was, dressed as a clown, and he was out there with a knife, and it looked like he was premeditated. He was going to go hurt someone. Maybe not that specific person, but just the person that he found that would be the victim. And Illinois State Police took the teenager into custody, homicide investigation. 15-year-old is going to be tried as an adult, and rightfully so.
That is crazy.
There's a lot of craziness in this world, but that one is in particular crazy. We're talking about law and order. You tell me they're not writing that into a script in the future right now? They have to be writing up a screenplay for that.
Absolutely.
Another one, and this is in the county. St. Louis County voters on Tuesday rejected Proposition U, turning aside an effort to impose local taxes on certain online and out-of-state purchases. When are people, and especially politicians, going to realize that whenever you have some sort of proposition that is more taxes for individuals, then they're going to vote no on that? We're at a point where you can have a proposition where it says, we are going to add a millage and we're going to give out free ice cream to everyone in the county. And it's going to get voted no. There's nothing I think you can put up on a ballot right now that would actually be voted on by people in a majority, because we are just absolutely tired of being overtaxed by everything nonstop. We just had this election. We had taxes that were added on here. It's so stupid because even though communities voted no, they still found a way to bring the tax forward with, even if your community said no. It was one of those public transportation things. So they basically said, well, if you live adjacent to this, then it gives us authority to tax you, even if we don't have it in your community. And people in the communities voted no, but it didn't matter because it was a countywide thing. And now I'm going to be taxed as a homeowner for something that I voted no for, and a lot of other people did, because other communities said yes, the ones that are going to benefit from this, forcing it on me. This is so stupid. Everything's stupid.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like the big question, right? Should people in other counties be able to vote to impose taxes on you, even though you do live in that county, but they live in other towns within the county, so the county can impose the tax, but the state or the city may not. That's like why we have the Electoral College.
Mm-hmm.
It's so that places like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago cannot impose the president on the people that didn't vote for the president, because the United States is big and the circumstances are different. It's so you have a president of the United States, not a president of those major metropolitan cities.
Right. It's like thinking about the Del Mar Loop. Imagine they said, we want to expand the trolley tracks. We're going to extend it down. We're going to go to the neighboring city. What would be right next to that there? I'm trying to think of what would be. But in general, imagine being that city that is going to expand it out, and you said, no, we don't want that boondoggle over here.
Mm-hmm.
But the people in the loop said, oh, you know what? It's good for us, so we'll vote yes, and we'll outweigh you, even though you don't want it.
Well,
that's essentially what's happening.
Yeah.
At least in my city.
Yeah. I hate that.
I think that a lot of people are taxed out. There was a lot of millages that were not renewed here. And people are just like, even if it's not going to add taxes, we are just overtaxed. We're tired of it. And there's a lot of police forces and things like that were relying on this money. And there's one in particular here, Sumter Township, I believe, where they're going to lose 40% of their budget because the millage was not renewed, because people are just absolutely tired of being taxed and taxed and taxed. When given the opportunity to drop one of them, they're going to take it. Doesn't matter what it is, even if it's police. People need to, at least these municipalities need to realize they got to reprioritize, because we're just tired of like everything that we're paying on top of rising home prices, paying extra in property taxes, insurance rates, cost of living, housing costs. All of this stuff is just way out of control for a lot of us. We're going to take any cut that's going to be given to us on a ballot. And a lot of people are taking that advantage. At least, let's just say hypothetically you're at home, and going back to the other story.
Okay.
You see some teen dressed as a clown, minding their own business. Do you call police on that teen?
Minding their own business? No. You can be a clown in public as long as you're not harming or threatening anybody or harassing.
You don't look at that as a little bit suspicious.
No, it's suspicious, but if you're not doing but if you're minding your own business, like I get the image of like a dude dressed as a clown sitting on a park bench scrolling Twitter or something on his phone.
Okay, smoking.
Yeah.
They're like taking a smoke break.
I don't understand why you're dressed like that, but people look at me and be like, Brad, why do you dress like that? So, okay, but just don't be harassing people.
Parachute pants are comfortable, and it just so happened it was cold, and the only jacket he had was a windbreaker, and
buttoned up with big fuzzy buttons.
Yeah, exactly. The makeup, sometimes it was raining, so it was smeared. Normally you don't notice it, but the rain was smearing it. Just happened to be moist outside. The hat, no one could really explain that, but other than that, just all basically a victim of circumstance in this case.
Yeah.
Minding your own. You're telling me if you look out your studio windows here to the park right across the street, if there was some clown dude just looking at people, standing there, not moving, stationary. You wouldn't say there might need a wellness check.
Standing there, like staring at me out of the window. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that. But that's suspicious behavior. But you said minding your own business. And let me tell you some of the things that we have looked out the window of our studio and seen in the park. For one, a person pooping.
Oh, of course. That was a given. I could have guessed that.
I mean, if you guys are curious about that, the video of it is on our, like, not the video of the guy actually doing it, but us seeing him, like, the camera was on, and we see Annie, Ryan, and Hannah's reaction to it.
So the guy just drops it right there in the park. Okay.
Right there in the park.
That's
next,
pretty
like leaned up against a tree and just let her rip.
Gross. So gross. Okay, it's got to be the highlight of what you see.
It makes me wonder about flock cams. Does that help in that situation?
That's a good question. What? I don't want to say this. Don't answer this question. What car maker would be labeled on the flock camera if it detected that moving across its camera lens?
What?
I'm trying to say what car manufacturers crap. It's just what I'm basically trying to. Okay. By the way, I want to talk cars with you because you're a gearhead. You're a Bronco guy. You restore cars. You're wearing a
shirt with a piston.
Shirts?
Yeah, a piston and a wrench on it.
Oh, that's awesome. You're a car guy. Cars, they're in the news. You texted me, by the way, this one car maker, and I am really intrigued by this. And I know you said you're going to try to get them on the show. I would be thrilled to talk to these people. What's the company called again?
REO Industries.
REO, like Speedwagon.
Yeah,
REO Industries.
So REO Speedwagon, before it was a band, was actually a truck manufacturing company.
Well,
way back in the day.
There's companies like Slate, and you're saying this is like the real version of the Slate that has a real engine in it.
I mean, Slate's a real vehicle, too. It's just an EV.
But they're both basically concepts at this point. I don't think we're selling anything.
Kind of doing the crowdfunding thing.
Well, Ford is getting in on this, too. So there's a news about Ford and the Fathom, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that coming up after the break. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey on 97.1 FM Talk.
Have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Call Todd Sivia at CiviaLaw.com, 833-995-WILL, for all of those areas of needs. When it comes to your estate planning issues, elder law concerns you have you been thinking about establishing a trust? Maybe you don't have wills or powers of attorney established yet. You know this is something you need to do, and for whatever the reason might be, you have put it off. You've postponed it. You've kind of not wanted to think about it. And here you are wondering, gosh, will I have everything in order when I need to have everything in order? The answer is yes, after you call Todd Sivia at Sivia Law. For the first 10 listeners to call right now to 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. Those first 10 listeners to call and book your initial appointment strategy session and mention my name, Annie, you're going to save the fee for that strategy session, which is a $300 value. So call Todd Sivia and Sivia Law at 833-995-WILL. Learn everything you need to know about the Sivia Law Firm at CiviaLaw.com.
Public schools, like public libraries, should be free and open to all. Open enrollment allows parents to choose the school that's the best fit for their children. Maybe another school has a wider curriculum, is bigger or smaller. Maybe a kid is being bullied and would be more comfortable at another school. 75% of parents favor open enrollment. Open enrollment programs now exist in 43 states, and Missouri should join them. Our next-door neighbor, Kansas, has one of the strongest open enrollment policies in the nation. Kansas parents are trusted with choices and options, while Missouri parents must move out of their home to change public schools. And it's a trend. Nationwide, the percentage of students going to their chosen public school has steadily increased. Assigning kids to schools based on their zip code is the old way. Open enrollment is a better way. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
You've pictured it, the garage door that finally makes your home look the way you want it to. And now get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the Overhead Door Home Refresh Rebate. Qualifying purchase must be made by September 13th. Let Overhead Door Company of St. Louis upgrade your curb appeal and get you up to $500 back. Schedule a free estimate at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Select models. Rebate paid as a Visa prepaid gift card. Restrictions apply. See website for full terms.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
You're listening to the Annie.
Sounds like your typical country. Hold on. I think I know it's going to kick in here. I'm pleading the fifth.
Man,
welcome back.
This song has spent over 16 weeks at number 1.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
The country charts?
No. Overall.
Wow. Who? I don't know the artist.
Is it Ella Langley, I think is what it is?
Okay, cool. Way to go. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker. We're going to talk trucks and cars and gears and grease and
maybe.
sweat.
I mean, we're talking about EVs, so.
Well, not always EVs. Do you have like a favorite car? Which would be your dream car?
I do. It's a Ford GT40.
Oh, okay. I always like the old Jeep Grand Wagoneers, the ones from like the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
With the wood panels on the side. But I tell you, I was driving down the road and I saw someone hauling a harvester truck, and I thought, that is a cool truck, man. Those harvesters were neat. And I know that there's a company out that is remaking the harvester made an SUV, but it's what were they called? I can't remember.
Are you talking about International Scout?
Scout, yes. They're making an EV Scout.
Oh, really?
And yes, they look cool, I'll tell you that. I'm not an EV guy. This is kind of interesting. Today, Ford announced that they are going to have a new affordable midsize electric pickup truck, and they're going to model it after its new universal electric vehicle platform, and they're calling it the Fathom. Starts at $28,350, standard range battery, including a $1,595 destination and delivery charge, make it one of the cheapest EVs on the market. So I'm looking at pictures of this. Have you seen pictures of the Fathom at all?
The only pictures that I've seen of it are the ones where they kind of have the shape distortion on it. Have they revealed what it actually looks like yet?
Well, maybe I thought I saw one, but when I go to the article now, maybe I was looking at something else and I thought it was it. So it's kind of this mysterious idea that Ford is going to put a, under $30,000 pickup truck EV onto the market. And there's that company called Slate. And I really love the idea of Slate. And the idea of Slate is it's kind of like customizable.
Modular.
It's easy. Modular, yes. You can swap things out, and it makes it easy for you to work on a car like that. And it's meant to be less expensive because of that, the modular side of it. So you can get a Slate right around, it sounds like around the same price, maybe even cheaper. But I like the idea of it. Get your hands on it. You can work on it. Even though EVs, generally speaking, they don't want you working on those because of the battery. You said there was a company called Ario that is like that, except instead of being an electric vehicle, you get a real engine in this thing, and it's meant to be an affordable truck. And this thing is teasing that they'll start at $21,500. That's something else.
Yeah. And it's that same idea as Slate, except it's a gas engine. They from my research, you can reserve one for like $25. They're supposed to reveal what it looks like in the next quarter. So in quarter 4 of this year, they're going to do a reveal. They're going to have pickup truck versions. They're going to have like small SUV versions, but a little 4-cylinder gasoline engine. You get an automatic or manual, whatever you want as far as that goes. But the idea is they want to bring back the simple truck again.
Yes.
Make it affordable. And what'd you say it was, like 21,000?
Well, they say it
starting
starts at 21,500 plus. They put next to it.
Yeah.
And I say that because same thing that they did with the Cybertruck. They're like, hey, let's roll it out and we'll throw stuff at the window and stuff. And hey, we'll tease it as like, how much did they say it was? It was like under 50, but when it was actually introduced, it was like 120 grand for one of these things.
REO wants to basically, they want you to be able to work on your own truck. I mean, it's a car for car people, essentially. People that want, like, I don't want to have to take it and spend hundreds of dollars at the dealership, hundreds of dollars per labor hour at the dealership. I want it, like, if it needs an alternator, I want to be able to put an alternator on it or something like that. And I don't need to have a big proprietary electronic system to hook up to it to diagnose it and stuff like that. They're kind of going back bare bones, and I really, really like that idea because I've had that idea as myself. I work on cars. I like that sort of thing.
This really appeals to me too.
But I just think that you don't need a car with every bell and whistle and that be standard. That's what drives the cost up. You need to have base models that are kind of bare bones. And then you can add to it from there. And if people want, the integrated sound system and navigation and all that stuff, then they can get it. But if I don't want it, if I just want a cassette player or a CD player or just a radio in the dashboard, because I like to put my own stereos in my vehicles, I don't want to have to rip apart and try to splice it into the existing, whatever it is, iDrive system that BMW has or whatever. I just want to be able to put it in there. So I think that this is kind of one of those things. And I think the other thing is, too, it's not perpetually connected to the internet, and it doesn't have remote access where they can shut it off on you.
Yes, love
this. This is a car for I don't know, for lack of a better term, patriots.
Yeah, and here's what I like, too. You talked about an alternator or some of these other parts. I want to be able to reach the part, whatever I'm replacing, without the engineering being so stupid where they're like, oh, to get to that, you're going to have to, first you take out the battery, then you have to move this over, and now you got to take this part over. Radiator, get it out of there if you're going to reach that part. The screw, good luck. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to cut it off. That's the only way this bolt comes up. I don't want any of that happening because they make it so inconvenient for you to do your own type of repairs. And same thing with like electric vehicles. They don't want you touching anything when it comes to computer or battery on it because they know that, hey, that could cause major malfunctions in other places of the car. I want something that is what I would think of as a classic cowboy car. This sounds like it. I think I'm going to put $25 down, even though they're saying this thing's not going to be ready for another couple of years.
I might do it too.
I think the timing on it, it's like we're 3 years out before it's introduced, but I think I want to do it. All right, you're listening to the Annie Frey Show. It's REO, by the way, if you're looking it up. 97.1 FM Talk.
today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Iran warns its Gulf neighbors. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. Iran reportedly told its Gulf neighbors if they don't insist President Trump end the U.S. strikes and make a peace deal, it will hit them hard. This as Tehran works on a deal with Oman.
Reports do indicate that progress in talks between Iran and Oman aimed at opening the strait, led in part by Gulf allies urging the president not to strike.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Vice President J.D. Vance tells Fox News.
Number one, the Iranians are extraordinarily difficult people. Number two, they have a fractured system. So there are people within their system who want the war to be over. There are also people within their system who are crazy radicals who want the war to continue.
And the Dow is pulling back from its record, dropping 373 points this hour as rising crude prices and higher Treasury yields add jitters to Wall Street. Crude now $77 a barrel. A Senate committee votes to hold ex-presidential COVID advisor in contempt of Congress. GOP Senator Bernie Moreno on the vote.
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
And that committee voted along party lines to hold him in contempt just 1 week after Dr. Fauci refused to answer questions at a Senate hearing. The committee plans to refer that case to the Justice Department. The battle continues in Washington state to wrangle several wildfires.
There is a massive amount of work going on by our fire crews, not only making sure we're getting hot spots out and preventing this fire from spreading, but it is only safe for our fire crews to go in there and do assessments. They have aerial assets that we're using to try to identify destroyed structures and get accurate counts.
Spokane County Sheriff John Knoll says the fires have destroyed more than 700 structures. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our weather pattern remains on.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. And Brad, I know you were trying to get WWE wrestling legend Kane on to talk about flat cameras.
Yeah,
so.
I was trying. I did get a message here, and he is unavailable today. So, but I do have the contact, and we'll continue to work to maybe try to find a time whenever he could join us.
Okay. I don't remember his theme song. I just remember he wore the red. He had the
Mhm.
long hair. Looks different now based on his performing days. It's a little bit different as a
Yeah.
politician. So he was on, maybe it was ABC or Fox, and he's been around and he's done media appearances and he's talked about just this very thing about these flock cameras. And it's the poll question today on the YouTube live chat poll. Flock cameras in our communities, where do you stand? And there's some choices, a range of choices for you to pick. Maybe we discussed this because yesterday we found a topic we disagree on. It was the topic of the poll, which was, should you go on vacation if you're in massive debt? And the question today, when it comes to flock cameras, I think we're on the same side on this one. I do not like them.
Just to what extent? Because we've got 4 options there.
Right. And to the extent it is, I say none whatsoever. I don't trust them whatsoever. So I think that some of the arguments I've seen people bring up is that, if you have a cell phone in your pocket and you spend on a credit card, there's nothing this flock camera won't pick up that they already know about you. So you might as well let them intrude on your privacy. Forget that. That's the worst argument you could bring up to me.
I mean, the best thing that my cell phone can get of me if it's in my pocket is a video of the inside of my pocket.
You take videos of the inside of your pocket?
Not on purpose, but I mean,
just happens
if the FBI logs into my phone and it's in my pocket, they're not going to be able to move the phone out of my pocket.
Yep. You're lucky there's no smell sensors on there because you're not going to like what they pick up on that.
Maybe it'll keep them away.
Keep them away. Oh, we're not going to that one again.
It's a
Cross that
smelloscope.
number of the list of smelloscope. Is that a Futurama reference?
Yeah, it is.
That's very good.
It's like, what is that? It's a big old ball of garbage heading toward the United States.
The flock cameras, to me, there's a few things that really are troubling to me. One, it's a third party that's putting this together. So when police agencies use this, they're licensing the information that's being harvested from a third party, which means a third party controls all of this data, and they do with it what they want with all of this data. Keep that in mind, because a lot of times the argument that you hear is that police use this as a very vital research tool in order to stop crime. And you want crime stopped, right? You want the bad guys to be caught. Well, it doesn't stop with police. What happens is that data could be sold to advertisers or data centers or anyone, federal government. They also could get access to this. You can find your medical records, anything. If there is a way to track you, keep in mind, they're going to keep that data. And then one day they'll use that not to help you, but to hurt you. It's a guarantee. There's no way that one day Flock's going to reach out and say, we've noticed that you keep driving this way. If you were to go this way, you wouldn't hit traffic and you get to work 10 minutes earlier. You can save some time here. Your friendly little Flock people here letting you know that our tracking actually helped you. None of that actually ever benefits you. It's always going to be used against you.
Yeah. It reminds me of the surveillance system that they have in China where they can monitor you. And so, like, the important thing to remember about these flock cameras is they're not just cameras. They're paired with AI and that sort of thing, and they create databases, things like they can recognize dents on your vehicle. So it's not just your license plate. It's more than that. It's very, very, very intrusive. There's some things that I don't know for sure how this works. Like, does a person have to volunteer or does an organization have to volunteer to have flock cameras put up? Because they can't just put them up anywhere. Like, if somebody came in and put a flock camera in my front yard, well, that's my front yard. You can't put that there, and I take it down.
Right. I think it's an easement area. I think the government makes signs a contract
So
with
the
Flock, and then they put them in easement areas and public areas.
So the government volunteers that. This is where my concern is, because they say, well, it's a private company, because I don't think the government is allowed to just put up security cameras everywhere, willy-nilly.
Right.
So they say it's a third party. So what they're doing is they're using a third party to do an end around of the Constitution. It's kind of like what the Biden administration was trying to do with social media.
Yeah, exactly.
We weren't
100%.
stealing your stuff. We weren't telling you what you can and cannot say. The social media company was. But we were telling them that they had better do that. And they were implying, Missouri v. Biden, they were applying pressure to these social media companies to take things down, and with threats of investigations and all sorts of things.
Right. There have been communities that fought back at this, and I want to say Portland or somewhere out west, and essentially They wrote the law which said that the information that the police are getting are subject to freedom of information requests. And guess what the government did? They stopped their contract immediately because they said we can't fulfill it because it's a third party. So what the government was doing when exposed and trying to make it transparent said we can't do that. So they shut the thing down. I think that if the government is using it as a tool and you're not allowed to put a Freedom of Information Request Act on it, you should be very, very skeptical of how they're using that data. You had this one example of how these things could be really scary and how the technology is used. Which one was it? Was it the Daily Caller report?
Yeah, is that the one you were talking about? The one with the footage of the police officer talking to the individual?
The woman, yes. This is the one you were telling me about.
Yeah.
I want to hear this, if we could.
It's everywhere in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing.
Chrisana Elzer learned the power of Flock firsthand.
You were in town from 11:52 until 12:09. Exactly. Like I said, nothing gets in or out of the town without us knowing.
When a Colorado police officer showed up at her door holding Flock snapshots of her truck.
And here's when you left at 12:09. That's when you left town.
To get?
No, to stop at Ridge Trail.
Wait a minute.
And take a package. Well, there's no shushing. I don't
Yes,
need to
there
be.
is. I need to know where this is.
The first thing he pulled out on the body cam is that Flock picture, the clear photograph of your car.
But here's your vehicle in the neighborhood many, many times, apparently casing houses, because you just can't drive through for work or visit other businesses. You can only be casing houses.
So this police officer showed up at her door with pictures of her on the Flock cam. He's like, you cannot get in and out of this community without us knowing about it. You can't take a breath in this community without us knowing about it. It was kind of his thing. And he was accusing her of stealing packages off of people's porches. And he's like, what he had was Flock camera footage of her vehicle driving through the neighborhood.
Right. That is harassment. That's what that is. And it's government harassment. And if I were her, I would be lawyering up, honestly.
But like the phrase, you cannot take a breath in this town without us knowing about it. I hate that.
Search and seizure laws, you would think would prevent this. Do you think that them circumventing it with a third party, but them using this as a way to intrude on you, it's much like the social media. You're right. They say sometimes, this is what government agents will do too. And police agencies, I think they try to mislead you very much when they talk about these things. And they're saying, the data can't be used for this. We don't have access to this. It's deleted after this. But what they don't tell you is that all of this information is controlled by a third party, which maintains it, and they can use it the way they please. So just because the police agency promises and pinky promises they're not using it that way doesn't mean the information can't be used that way, because it exists and it's there and it can be abused, and it will be abused. I hate that this stuff has been put up and we've given permission for these companies to spy on us. And we're just like, okay, we give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to use it responsibly. We know they're not. I don't like any of this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take you back to Benjamin Franklin. He said that if you give up those that give up essential liberty for a little bit of safety deserve neither.
Yeah.
The upside, I'm willing to take the risk of it's going to be harder to find criminals and that sort of thing to maintain my essential liberty as a citizen. I know what you guys are saying. I know that the proponents of this say, hey, this will help us catch criminals. This will help us with that. You know what? We caught criminals before we had Flock cameras. And this is a step too far for me. It's just a step too far. I'm not interested in giving up that personal liberty so that you can do that. And then you go back to and I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly how this works out, but trying to end around the Constitution by saying, well, it's a third-party company. However, you as a government entity are signing the contract with it. This isn't like, I saw in our chat, somebody said tow companies use these mobile versions to find repos. That is a private company using it with private purposes to find other things. That's a different story. That's not the government doing it, because that towing company isn't going to be able to use that information to remove you or come up with some sort of social credit score. Like, it could get very bad very quickly with governments having that issue, because the government is what is the organization, the group that has the right to remove, or not the right, but the ability to remove freedoms from you. I don't like this. I don't want to give them the temptation to do this. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. And this is a power that the government should not have over the American people.
You know, let me just throw this out, and this is when you come to tracking and the information and how it's used. Let me just throw this out as a hypothetical, and I think this is a likely outcome for things like this. So you got these cameras, and they know where the car is going most of the time based on, multiple snapshots of where your license plate is getting picked up, or a description of your car, or they find a moon rack that just happens to be in a spot that's unique or something like that. And they start to profile you in a way that's like, okay, well, they drive through a dangerous neighborhood. Or did you notice they park in this one lot when they go downtown? That has a higher rate of crime, so we better up their insurance rates. Or let's say that, oh man, that's like the third time he's gone to McDonald's this week. We better up their health insurance rates. How do you know this data isn't being used as a way to charge you more on the back end because you're looked at as always a risk for insurance companies, for example? I think that these are very likely scenarios. Or let's say they start profiling you on things like, well, now you have a higher risk of cancer because you're in an area that just happens to, be prone to it. So now you're uninsurable. We can't insure you because you're too much of a risk. Or your driving pattern. Wow, you go over the speed limit. You do 10 over the speed limit when you're on 70, even though everyone else is doing 90. But you're doing 10 over the speed limit. Man, we can't insure you anymore unless we jack your premiums up. I think all of these things are likely outcomes when you start these giant data collections. And I think it's already been happening. And I think that's why a lot of people want to remain anonymous online. And that's why even using some of these laws where they say they want to have tracking you online in the sense that you have to show your ID to log into websites and stuff. When you lose the ability to be anonymous, they're always going to find that data as a way to harass and make it worse, make your life worse. I know we got to go to break, but I wanted to ask you what you think about these flock vigilantes. Have you seen them?
Oh,
If
yeah.
you haven't, okay, you have seen them.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, I want to get your take on that coming up after the break. And I also saw that Planned Parenthood has a rebranding coming up.
Oh, no.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
To come join us Tuesday, August 11th at the Doubletree Chesterfield for our next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. Free event, a quick evening. It says seminar. It is a seminar, but it doesn't take forever. You're going to be out of there by 7:30 p.m. You sit down at 6:30, get there early, and I'd love the opportunity to chat with you and kind of get to know you a little bit more. And you're going to learn how to plan for the transition into retirement. Of course, you've been saving for quite a long time, late 50s, early 60s, maybe mid 60s. I don't know, maybe you're in your 70s and you're still working your tail off. Good for you. If you have been thinking, I think it's time, I want to know what I need to do, what kind of strategy I need to have to get into retirement, this is the event for you. At the Doubletree Chesterfield, starts at 6:30. I get there at 6, and I'd love the opportunity to meet you. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Gentlemen, Mark Cox here. When's the last time you actually felt like yourself? Victory Men's Health specializes in hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, and longevity. It's built for everyday men who just want to feel better and perform their best. They already have offices in Town and Country, Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. They're about to open a new location in Glen Carbon very soon. It's a higher standard of care just waiting for you. Learn more at victorymenshealth.com.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-20 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Annie Frey Show.
Dun, dun, dun. Plead the fifth. Still trying. You can plead the fifth in pretty much every song. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in. YouTube live chat poll is up. Flock cameras are in our communities. Where do you stand? And a lot of people that enjoy, or I shouldn't say enjoy, a lot of people that defend the flock cameras, their stance is police are using this to catch bad guys. How can it be a bad thing? If this is a valuable tool, the police are saying that this is just as valuable as DNA evidence at a crime scene. So maybe you're in support of them. That's fine. What do you think about the flock vigilantes that are going out there and destroying these devices? So essentially, they'll either chop down the pole that they're on and, lay them on the ground. So you're not like basically destroying the electronics, but you're making it so it's collecting no data. Sometimes people will, I guess the lightest thing you can do is they put up a giant sign in front of the camera so it can't record anything behind it. So essentially as a way of protest. What do you think of the flock vigilantes and the work that they're doing? Do you support them?
You're going to ask me to say that on air? There's a flock camera right outside the studio.
There is no flock camera outside the studio. Well, there is one. If you go to the common area, what's the little convenience store you have? There's a camera there. It might be flock related.
So what I've seen of these vigilantes is really I've seen different short videos and whatnot of people, quote unquote, reporting on what and how these people did it and what methods they used to avoid the camera and how they said that this is very bad and don't do that this way.
Right. Given all the instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. If you start taking liberties away from people, they're going to start pushing back. That is about as American as you can get. That attitude of, don't you take this from me. Don't you try to impose on my life. Like, that is a pretty American attitude.
I like the way that you frame it. I've seen other people, and it's probably been a year since I've seen someone do this, so I don't know if they've increased their security since then. But a lot of these different cameras, they have almost zero security on them, meaning if you were to show up with a laptop near one and connect to it via Bluetooth, you would be able to connect and get all the data that's being collected off of that thing in real time. That's how insecure a lot of these are. So I've seen people test it, and it works that way. I don't know if they've changed it, but it goes to show you that they are not very protective of the data that they are collecting. And sometimes, what was it over in the BBC and some of these other areas where they're really leaning into this? They will talk to people. They'll wear the masks so they hide their identity when they're giving interviews, and they'll essentially say the same thing. We don't want these things in our community, so we're going to take them out. So I like how you mentioned You want me to admit on air that it's okay to vandalize, which I'm not going to do. Is it one of those things where it's that meme from the guy from Top Gear where he goes, "Oh no, well anyway."
Yeah, anyway.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
anyway.
I am not going to be in an uproar. I'm not going to lose my stuff if I see somebody cutting down a flock camera.
Would you do the thumbs up like, all right?
I would not react at all.
Because you're afraid of
Because
being
I didn't
sued?
see anything, Ryan.
That's right. You didn't see anything. It's right.
Like
Nobody likes
hands 10 and 2, eyes on the road. I was busy driving my vehicle. I did not see Rya Wrecker cutting down a flock camera.
Cutting down. At least they're not shooting at him. I mean, that's
Yet.
like what you would yet. I love the ones where they put up signs in front of it, where they just get a pole the same height and then they just put a sign up that said "Don't record us" or something.
Yeah,
love it. Okay, going to the Planned Parenthood thing. Apparently, Planned Parenthood is rebranding because, they lost a bunch of federal funding and some of the abortion clinics are getting shut down. So I think in a way of, you can look at it and say that, the pro-life side is winning right now when it comes to abortion. So Planned Parenthood realizes that, well, the federal funding that we were using to fund abortions are running dry. So now we have to close some of our shops because we're not actually offering many other services other than that. So, okay, we need to rebrand. We need to find a way to save the business of killing children. And this is what Planned Parenthood has with their new strategy. On Monday, they put a message out on their official Facebook page declaring, quote, "Reproductive freedom means every person gets to decide what's right for their own body, no exceptions." And they put a picture on it that says, "Abortion is gender-affirming care." So the rebranding of Planned Parenthood is, if you are LGBTQ trans friendly, you have to be gender affirming care friendly, and abortion is a gender affirming care. That is their new stance as Planned Parenthood. What do you think of that?
I mean, that's so on brand for that company. Yeah, but I thought that they provided more than just abortion care.
Not really.
No, that's all they do. They exist for the purpose of ending the lives of children.
Yeah.
That's what they exist for.
Right. So gender affirming care referring to, medical treatment for children, roughly. So
stop and think about that, though. Gender affirming care. Abortion is gender affirming care. So are they anti-trans?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, only a biological female can have a baby, right?
Well, that's what you're going to. So, a biological male claiming to be a female shows up to an abortion
That
clinic
doesn't
asking for an
affirm their
abortion.
gender. It does the opposite.
Are they obliged? Do they have to go through the motions and pretend that they're going to perform one of those evil abortions on a man?
Is
that what they're saying they're doing?
I have no idea. But to say, I mean, here's the thing. It's just some dork up in their PR department saying, well, this is popular amongst the left. Blah, blah, blah is blah, blah, blah. So they have their catchphrases. Gender affirming care is healthcare or whatever. So they're just adding that on there because they know that it'll make people. But if you stop and think about it, the only gender that can have an abortion is female, adult human female, women. Women are the only ones that can have an abortion. A man cannot have an abortion because a man cannot carry a child.
Yeah. So what if the rebranding is they're going to offer these surgeries to children now in these buildings? So let's say they're expanding past abortion, and what they're going to do is going to start. When you see Planned Parenthood, you're going to think, okay, if you want to change your gender, then we'll perform this surgery for you to mutilate your genitals. That's what Planned Parenthood's going to be getting into the business of.
Well, they got to do something because they're losing money on this. Or they could just, do what us normal people want them to do and fold. Yeah. Just go away. You aren't providing anything useful to society. You are killing children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know who the new CEO or any of these people are, but they got in there and they're trying to find ways to save this business. But it makes me happy to know the business is folding, and it's hopefully a thing where they all close down. I mean, that would be the preferred method, where we see all these, terrible, evil things that go on at abortion clinics that we don't have to worry about that anymore. But it does show me that the pro-life side is winning this battle in this sense. And all it took was to stop using your tax dollars to fund abortions, which is ridiculous to think that we even accepted that at all to begin with.
Well, we didn't, but money's fungible. What was it? The Hyde Amendment says that you can't use tax dollars to fund abortion. But if you use tax dollars to do other things, then that frees up the other monies to fund abortion.
Yeah.
But,
you know, like,
here's the thing.
Really.
If you cut off that tax, this is how dedicated that organization is to abortion. If you cut off those tax dollar monies, if you cut it off completely, they wouldn't stop doing abortions. They would stop doing the other stuff that they say that they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is the update, the status there as we speak. All right. Coming up after the break, what's going on in Cuba? I mean, sometimes you think about Venezuela and you think about, okay, we just, had a change there. We're talking about Iran. We're talking about Ukraine and Russia and Israel. And there's a lot of things that are going on in the world. But I got to tell you the truth. I haven't thought about Cuba in forever. And we're going to catch up and talk about that coming up after the break. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey, 97.1 FM Talk.
Should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? Do you fully support them because you trust the government to keep you safe? Do you mostly support them because they're useful for law and order, but you need to have limits on them? Do you mostly oppose them because you don't trust the government, or do you completely oppose them because it is a clear example of government overreach? The YouTube poll is great. We just had a great conversation with that in the last 2 segments. So if you want to do that, you can go and use the Audacy app to rewind and see that. I am getting a lot of texts. One of them says, do you distinguish between regular LPR cams and flock? Law enforcement in Madison County and many other places use a system that is ran by the DEA. Another person said they help solve crimes daily. And then another person asked, if you had a child abducted, would you hope for flock cameras? So these are all great questions, all things to consider. Keep those coming. Vote in the poll. Let us know what you think. Do you support flock cameras? Yes, no, sort of, not really. Jump on Annie's YouTube page and vote in the poll. The time is 1:33, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
in the fifth. Dude, I tried to fit the Fleet in the fifth in there. I tried. It does fit a little bit. Nickelback's a controversial band, aren't they? I don't know.
I'm a Nickelback fan.
Are you? I tell you the time I went to go see Creed. They were awesome. I saw them, maybe it was last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was. And it's kind of in that genre in the sense like, who likes them? But I remember listening to them in the 90s, and my buddy's like, I just need someone to go with, so will you go with me? And I had the best time. It was such a crazy
A
night.
Creed concert would be great. It would be
It
great.
was so awesome.
I saw it called Divorced Dad Music the other day.
It was. It's Divorced Dad Music is right. You know, we had some other people we knew at the concert, and they played with arms wide open, and he said he was crying through the whole thing.
No.
Divorced
Bad.
Dad Music. That's right. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in. We think about all of these different places across the world, and a lot of our focus right now is on Iran. We think about Israel. We think about Ukraine and Russia. We think about Venezuela. There's a lot. We think about Canada even, but how often do we think about Cuba? Joining us now is the Vice President for Policy and Government Relations at the Center for a Free Cuba, Eddy Acevedo. Thank you for joining us here in St. Louis.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Greetings from Washington, D.C.
Acevedo. Am I saying that correctly? I apologize if I said it wrong. I tried to practice.
No, you got it. You got it right on. That is correct.
What's going on in Cuba? Because I just did a quick search, and sometimes when you stop paying attention, you're like, whoa, what happened here? And it looks like there's some massive power problems on the island right now.
Yeah, that's correct. They've had their 10th blackout across the island in the last 18 months. It's unbelievable what is happening in Cuba. 10th blackout in 18 months. And this is really a testament to this communist regime down there who just cannot keep the lights on, which is totally predictable as, they've been a failure and responsible for decades of just corruption and repression. And just to give you one idea, I mean, the Cuban regime, the average Cuban on the island makes more or less about $15 to $20 a month. Yet the regime, through their military operation, which is called Gaesa, it's their military arm, they've stashed away about $18 billion. So they keep all the money for themselves while the people continue to suffer. It's a sad situation in Cuba right now.
Wow. I think about the inconvenience it is to have your power off even for a half a day. I can't imagine a total blackout that many times over the course of 18 months, 10. So what happens during that time? Is it just because of the aging infrastructure? What's causing? Is it storm related? What's causing these outages?
No, it's definitely aging infrastructure. I mean, the regime really doesn't put any money towards helping their own people. They put their money towards filling their own coffers. And there hasn't been sort of any kind of investments on this issue. And sadly, the people, if you can believe it, they've become used to this. They're used to sort of the electricity going out for hours or for days within certain parts of the island. But these kind of nationwide blackouts have just become a reoccurring theme over the last 18 months.
Wow. So ultimately, nothing's changing. It's what would you recommend be done? Because we've seen different ways the United States have intervened when it comes to problems like this. What do you think? Is there a solution that the United States can do, or would you recommend something else?
Well, I think I'll tell you this much. I am at the National Endowment for Democracy, and we get our funding through Congress in a bipartisan way. And Cuba is among our top 5 programs that we have worldwide. And we continue to kind of keep the lights on in terms of trying to help, independent journalists, religious leaders, human rights defenders, and making sure that they have a role in shaping the country's future themselves. which is another aspect that's happening in Cuba that a lot of people don't know about in terms of, the churches and the faith communities that are a main target of repression from the regime.
Hi, Eddie.
So in terms of sorry, just to answer your question a little bit more, in terms of what we are doing is, supporting these democratic networks on the ground to, strengthen and make sure that we foster a democratic change on the island.
Hey, Eddie, this is Brad. I'm the producer, but I do have a question. What is the attitude of, like you mentioned that the Cuban people are kind of used to it now, but is there an attitude or a thought that maybe they're kind of done with this? They're getting ready to maybe push back against the regime, or are they so oppressed that there's nothing that they can do? Where are they at in this process?
Yeah, so, that's a very interesting question. I mean, just to give you some context, about 5 years ago, the same thing was happening. There was a lot of nationwide blackouts, and what ended up happening was the Cuban people hit the streets by the thousands, and there was a massive amount of repression. About 1,500 people got thrown in jail. At that time, many of them are still in jail up until today. So I think for the people, there's always this sort of balance that they have to do in dealing with, how do we obviously show our discontent, but, nobody wants to be thrown in jail or be killed for protesting.
You have to explain the climate on an island like Cuba because, we hear about these heat waves in Italy and Europe right now, and people die because they don't have air conditioning. So what's it like when the power goes out, and what's the weather conditions down there? Are people getting sick? Are they dying because of the outdated infrastructure?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, obviously Cuba is in the Caribbean, a little bit south of Florida, so naturally it's very hot down there, and because of the aging infrastructure, it's not like everybody has AC systems in every home. I mean, they're just not set up that way. So a lot of times, what they do is they'll try to bring in as many fans as possible. They'll kind of do the old school, just open all your windows and open your doors, try to get a breeze that comes in from the ocean, and they just try to survive. I mean, the Cuban people have been under this dictatorship for over 70 years, and they've kind of been accustomed to this survival mode through many different things, whether it's a lack of medicine, a lack of food, or in this case, a lack of electricity.
Wow. All right. Well, we talked about some of the problems with the infrastructure. What's going right in Cuba right now? What are some of the success stories that you've heard? Are there any that come to mind?
Not really. I think right now on the island, there is hope. I think to me that's the biggest success story, that under this level of repression, they have not been able to extinguish the hope and the dreams and the yearning of the people for a democratic future.
Okay. Well, that's not great. Maybe we need to keep Cuba on our radar more often. And like I mentioned before, when we talk about other countries, we focus so much on some of these other conflicts and things the United States have their ways in. But man, Cuba just gets off our radar. It's on the back burner. I have to admit, could not have imagined talking about Cuba today. Didn't even think about Cuba in probably, I don't know, last time a hurricane went through there. So I think maybe the idea is we need to keep them on the front burner and look at that island and realize what's going on there.
Absolutely. I mean, you're 100% correct. I mean, today we're talking about the blackout situation, but there's a lot more to that, right? The Chinese and the Russians are heavily involved in Cuba. The Cuban regime has an extensive espionage network that goes against the U.S. So there are many elements to this story that I think needs more attention. I'm more than happy to come back on your show another day and discuss it further.
Okay. Well, if people wanted to follow you or maybe, figure out more about Cuba, what's the best place to direct them?
Sure, they can go to our website, the National Endowment for Democracy, and we have a lot of our information there on what we're doing in Cuba, and folks can go there and follow us.
Eddy Acevedo is the Vice President for Policy and Government Relations at the Center for a Free Cuba. Thank you so much for joining us here, Eddy. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
And I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. Don't go anywhere, 97.1 FM Talk.
From 5 to 9 a.m. at Chickenelli's in Eureka. We're raising funds for Focus Marines Foundation. Proceeds go straight to supporting our veterans. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com is the website. If you are considering getting the basement looked at because water has made its way into your home and you need a solution, you wonder maybe even how bad the problem actually is in the first place, call Matt Hayes, the local family-owned business owner of Home Shield Foundation Repair, and talk to him about what you're looking at, what you're dealing with. He'll come look at your basement and give you an educated understanding of how you can get the problem solved. And for right now, if you call 314-271-9900, that's 314-271-9900 to Home Shield Foundation Repair, you can talk to them about 0% financing for 24 months. This is a great way to get a necessary fix in your home and restore that foundation. Home Shield Foundation Repair at 314-271-9900. Reach out to Matt Hayes and talk to him about your project today and take advantage of that incredible opportunity for 0% financing. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Your summer air should feel fresh. That means not full of dust or allergens or whatever spring left behind in your vents. Your air ducts are the lungs of your house. If they're dirty, you're breathing it in every day. That's where Zero Res comes in. You can get this month only 20% off air duct services and products. That is cleaner air, better efficiency, and a fresher home, guaranteed. Call 314-474-2020 or visit ZeroResSTL.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1.
Plead the fifth, plead the fifth, plead the fifth. Dun, dun, dun. You could do it to really any song, honestly. I dare you to find a song you can't plead the fifth to. I dare you in the next hour to try to find one. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in for Annie Frey. And the YouTube live chat poll is there. Flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? Go vote on that now. Kind of controversial. I'm curious how this one lays itself out. Last week here in Michigan, there was a story, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. It was in northern Michigan. There was a community that said their wastewater treatment plant got hit by lightning. And it was interesting because people that live in that community said, I didn't hear any lightning last night. And they said to the people there, since we can't process this, don't flush your toilets, don't use your sinks, don't do anything that would put water down the drain, because we just can't process it with the plant that's down right now. So imagine the government telling you in your home for about, let's say, an undisclosed amount of time. You don't know how long it's going to be. In this case, it was about 24 hours, we'll say, to 24 to 48 hours. It was less than 2 days. They said you can't do that. They put up porta-johns throughout the city for people to use as bathrooms, porta potties. And the next day they said, okay, if we think we figured this out, just take it easy, all right? Don't go out there into a flushing spree. Take it easy. And that's what happened. And then a week later, we get this report that Iran was possibly targeting wastewater utilities across the United States.
Yeah.
It was a dozen states. And I know we have a clip on this. This is clip number 3, if we can play that real quick.
This morning, an intelligence note reviewed by ABC News provides the clearest indication yet that Iran may be behind cyber attacks targeting water and wastewater utilities in more than a dozen states and prepared for them months in advance. The note says public safety officials in Utah identified targeted reconnaissance against water infrastructure in their state using an internet signature linked to Iran. The note said there were nearly 500 attempted intrusions in a 46-minute window November 24th. That's 3 months before the U.S. and Israel launched their first strikes. Officials in New Jersey are now confirming 2 municipal water utilities in their state were targeted, temporarily blinding operators when automated systems went down.
These losers at Iran. All I thought was, I don't care if we're low on bombs, so let's just finish the job if they're going to hit our toilets, man. Don't take away my wastewater. So, in Iran, the possible cyber intrusions, it seems like it's very, very increasingly likely it's them. Okay.
You know what's interesting is I heard Mike Rowe talk about this, and he's like, it's one of the most. He was talking about it from the perspective of dirty jobs, but he said it's one of the most underappreciated, most important things about our society and about modern technology is that you press a little button and the poo goes away.
Yeah.
You know,
that's pretty important.
And like you don't think about that, but like even I think it was at Disneyland, there's like an America, like a 1776 America thing, and the concrete's painted, but in the middle there's a brown like little path going through, and that brown path is supposed to represent the wastewater era and how people got rid of wastewater. They just dumped it into the streets.
Yeah, exactly. And we see sometimes, and it's definitely frowned upon, but even here in Missouri, there was an issue where they were dumping it. They got caught dumping it in the, where was it that the dumping happened? I can't remember exactly where that happened, but same thing. EPA gets involved. You can't dump your wastewater there.
But I'm not.
Where was that?
I'm not.
Raw
shocked.
sewage into the big river near
gosh.
Leadwood. Yeah,
But-
so they were doing it out there.
I mean, I'm not shocked that Iran is trying. I mean, you got to give them credit for trying to be inventive at least, because they can't stand toe to toe with the United States militarily. They can't do it. So yeah, I'm not shocked that they're trying to do it, but I also think that bodes well of our cybersecurity because they look like they tried, but they just didn't have the success to do it.
To the level that they wanted to,
Yeah.
the widespread level at a lot of facilities, but some of the smaller ones susceptible. I think if you run any government system that is hooked up to the internet, you have to understand that there's going to be bad actors out there that want to take it out. You just have to assume that that's going to be the case.
And constantly, like
Yeah,
consistently.
nonstop.
Like I can't. Like it would seem odd to me if bad actors weren't right now trying to get into government systems.
Right. Doesn't that make you just want, when I hear stories like this, I'm thinking, man, these people on a septic system, they don't have to worry about this. Like everything's taken care of. I think about people that live off the grid. They put up these solar arrays. They use the satellite Starlink for their internet. They have the septic system. They use the well water, but they have it treated in what's coming in. They keep tanks of gas on hand so they can, fill it up themselves as opposed to, having to go long distances without having it. I think about the sustainability of some of these people that live off the grid, and I think to myself, maybe I need to be more like that.
Or at least know how to be like that. You were mentioning that stuff, and it got me thinking about my parents' place. Well water, septic system, garden in the middle of nowhere, Starlink, all of it. I mean, I wouldn't say that my mom and dad are ready to be off the grid or are off the grid, but, who sang the song Country Boy Can Survive?
I don't know but it sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right. I am a convenience guy, obviously. I'm a
Me
major
too.
convenience guy. So I like the ability where, I have the wastewater and, I can hook up to the system and I can have the water when I want it. I like these ideas that I don't have to worry about my water smelling weird without, having special treatment done to it. But, I knew people that grew up in the other way around, and it's normal to them. It wasn't any different to them. I think about if I didn't have kids, because you're in the situation where you don't. It would be so much easier to live out in the middle of nowhere without kids because you don't have to worry about a school system. I know homeschooling is always an option, but you want to be able to have your kids socialize and do other things, and you got to have that. And if you don't have kids, it seems like this would be a lot easier to do.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's where I grew up, and I went to a public school. They have buses. They can get your kids there. It's not the hassle that everybody thinks that it is. And
how long of a bus drive was it?
20 minutes.
Oh, that's nothing.
No, they picked us up at the end of the driveway, which our driveway was a half mile. So my mom had the inconvenience of driving us down there because we couldn't walk down there fast. We couldn't get ready fast enough to walk the driveway.
Drove you to the end. You had to shoo the chickens away.
No, we didn't have that going
Peacocks.
on. But
shoo the peacocks.
we didn't have any fowl. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, buy some land, move out of the cities. It's nice. You know, my dream is to have a home where you can't see it from the main road.
Yeah, I like that. I love that idea in theory. My wife likes the idea. She'd force me to get chickens. I don't like that idea. I don't want chickens. I do like the idea of driving around your property in a golf cart.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome.
Well,
Or
but when you
four-wheeler.
move out into the country, it's a side by side because it's got
Side-by-side.
to have 4-wheel drive.
That's what you got to call it. Yeah, side by side. I love it. You hear the stories about people found under their tractor. You got to be careful. No hot dogging it out there.
Yeah, don't do that. Sometimes that's a hard issue too. You know, so they were just found slumped over the wheel of their tractor. So
No, yeah, that could be a part of it too. All right, so America's water system's under attack. Iran may be to blame, but most likely it seems like they pretty much got this figured out. One other thing for Donald Trump to put on the list: stop with the toilets. All right, he goes to the negotiation table with Iran. Give us a break with this.
I wouldn't even say give us a break. It's like you guys don't stand a chance. Surrender. Surrender now.
Seriously. All right. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in for Annie Frey. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. It sounds like we got some great comments that are coming in on that now. Flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? Fully support. I trust the government to keep us safe. Mostly support, which is useful for law and order, but we need limits, or mostly oppose. I am a mostly opposed person. I do not trust. You know what? I take that back. I'm a completely opposed person. That's on the list, too. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Text message at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Why call Stewie for your new mortgage or your mortgage refinance? Well, the bagel loan is the biggest reason. Both of those scenarios, refis and new purchases, come with no closing costs when you use the bagel loan. But for right now, with new home purchases, getting a new 30-year loan on a new home, when you use the bagel loan, of course, you don't pay any closing costs. But for the first year of that bagel loan home purchase, you're going to be able to take a 1% discount on your payment for the first year. At Stewart's American Mortgage, he is committed to providing you the best opportunity for your mortgage situation. I have used the bagel loan twice myself, and I highly stand by it. And I want you to get the opportunity to use it as well. 314-324-4440. Call or text 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
I want to talk about Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com. There are 3 good reasons you should talk with Greg. 1, your health insurance premium is too high. Well, Greg saves most people 30 to 60% on their monthly premiums. 2, your deductible is too high. Well, with most of Greg's plans, you will have no deductible or out-of-pocket expenses. 3, your doctor doesn't take your plan. Well, you can use Greg's plans at most any doctor or hospital in the country. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years' experience, at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. Greg will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government. Because you don't know what you don't know about your health insurance coverage.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Not sure if you should repair or replace an aging air conditioner? Check out the free repair or replace tool from Air Comfort Service. Visit aircomfortservice.com/repair or replace.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years, They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
What's now?
Right now.
Crisis at the border. What's next?
I'll wait till the report comes out.
It's what matters.
So losing health care.
97.1 FM Talk. KFTK FM Florissant. From the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Going after Fauci. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. A panel voted along party lines this morning to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress for refusing to answer questions during a COVID hearing.
A week after Anthony Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times at a Senate hearing, the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee voted to refer Fauci to the Justice Department for contempt of Congress.
A subpoena is not an invitation. A subpoena with no consequence is not a subpoena. It's a suggestion.
Republican Chairman Rand Paul says Fauci's constitutional right against self-incrimination does not apply since he was pardoned by former President Biden. Democrats say Republicans are breaking with precedent by not respecting a witness's Fifth Amendment privilege. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The committee plans to refer the resolution to the DOJ. Fauci's attorney calls the vote a political stunt. Arson suspect Aaron Farinacci will appear in court in Spokane, Washington today for an arraignment. He is charged with setting one of the most destructive wildfires in state history.
The damage that was caused by the Old Trails fire that broke out Saturday afternoon. Now, if he is convicted, he does have the potential to face up to life in prison. Now, he is currently being held on a $1 million bond. Investigators say Farinacci was also linked to 2 fires last year, but never charged.
Fox's Sarah Allegre reporting. Iran and Oman are said to be close to a deal to allow them to control ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz as the U.S. demands that Tehran stop attacking the vessels.
The president said earlier this week we could see a deal as soon as today, but it's looking less likely after Iran said there are actually no negotiations underway that would reopen the strait.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich, and U.S. crude is rising at $77.34 a barrel. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil, one simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to metamucil.com for more details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our weather pattern remains unsettled over the next 24 hours or so. A mix of clouds and sunshine going through the afternoon, but we keep an eye out for a couple of showers and thunderstorms scattered about. 85 for the high. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight, 72. Still some scattered showers and thunderstorms Friday. Otherwise, partly sunny, 88. Saturday, sunny, 89. Sunday, sunny, 93. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Wrecker, filling in one more hour here, the Annie Frey Show. If you want to find me online at Ryan Wrecker Radio on Facebook. The YouTube live chat poll is up, and Brad, you're telling me that right now it is a very divided poll, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a very divided poll. There's a couple answers. Two of the answers really stand out. However, if you split it, because our answers are, there's four possibilities, but two of the possibilities are a support type answer and two of them are an oppose type answer. And it is split 50-50 between support and oppose. But within that, there's some division on how much support or how much hate there is for these flock cameras. So it's really, really an interesting poll. We want more votes. We're doing pretty good on votes, but we want more.
Where are you on the flock cameras? That's the poll today. I wanted to read this, and we've talked about this before, Brad. During the break, I should have said, are you okay to talk about this? But I think you are. There's a story in USA Today about Antonio Banderas. Have you seen this story?
Antonio Banderas. Yeah. No, I haven't. I haven't seen the story.
He
What's
says a heart attack he had nearly a decade ago changed the course of his life. Speaking to People magazine in an interview that was published yesterday, 65-year-old actor reflected on how having a heart attack in 2017 reshaped his priorities and gave him a new appreciation for the experience of living.
Can understand and relate to that.
I bet you can. So did you come out of because you've had multiple heart attacks,
Yeah,
right?
3.
Okay. Did you come out of the first one with a better appreciation for life?
Yeah, each one kind of like, yeah. My attitude right now is I'm living on borrowed time. I don't want to sound dark or anything like that, but I've had 3 heart attacks, and each one of them could have gotten me,
Wow.
Each one was milder than the one before and related to the one before because it's all the same spot in my heart. But, I mean, a heart attack's a heart attack, and one of them could have gotten me. So
is this genetic or is it something else?
Well, in a way, it's genetic because it's the way the artery grew in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like it's not like a genetic heart condition. I just have an artery that is they call it tortuous. It means that there's a lot of bends in this one area, kinks and bends. And so the path for the blood to flow through is actually a lot smaller than it would be if it were just a straight shot like a normal heart would be.
Uh-huh.
And so less, I was young. I was 28 when I had my first heart attack. Less blockage was required to fully block it off. It was a 100% blockage.
Wow.
And so they're like, okay, we can't, because of the shape of the artery, we can't get a stent in or anything like that. And it's only one spot and you're young, so we don't feel right doing open heart surgery and a bypass. So what we're going to do is we're going to medicate you, tell you to lose weight, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that your heart will grow in arteries around it that will basically be almost like a natural bypass. So that went great. I lost weight. Well, that blockage opened up. And then a blood clot got stuck in it 2 years later, and that caused the second heart attack. But when they went in that time, they're like, oh, hey, there's an opening there. We can actually open this up and get a stent in. So they put the stent in.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the extra arteries and the stent, and I was feeling really good after the second one.
Wow.
Well, in September of 2020, the third one happened, and what had happened was scar tissue and calcification happened on that stent, and it blocked up again. Wow. So that's why each one was milder, but they, right now that spot is blocked.
When did you first start working with the Annie Frey Show?
September of 21.
So this would have been all before you joined the show.
It was.
Happened.
My last one was a year before I joined the show, roughly.
Okay. Wow. I got to say, my timelines are so messed up, so you'll have to forgive me. Have we ever worked in the same studio together?
Yes. Yeah. You were here when I started. When I first started.
Okay. I didn't know if we overlapped in person or not.
I'm pointing in the studio, but you stood right over there.
Okay, good.
You came in one time whenever I think Brad Young was hosting for a segment.
Oh, yeah, to come say hi to Brad or something like that. That's good. Okay. Was it the time Brad was hosting and they surprised Annie? Was it that moment? They surprised her with something, didn't she? No. I take that back. It wasn't. Someone left and you were saying goodbye to them, and Annie came in to surprise her.
Yeah.
Maybe it was something like that. Okay.
Yeah, that was the producer before me.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to read this tweet from J.D. Vance, and I'm going to read it completely out of context, and you tell me if it's funny or not.
Love it.
Says, I'm surprised to hear Mark say this. If you've ever met him in person, it's quite obvious the man has never missed a burrito.
I saw that. I saw that post.
You know the burrito talk? Do you understand what's going on? So
yeah.
Vice President J.D. Vance apparently fat-shamed a columnist who publicly mocks Zoomers for complaining about burritos costing $20 in a return of an old internet brawl ways that happened months long ago, I guess.
I mean, I don't know if it was burritos, but yeah, it was about money spent on food.
It says the burritos in the college cafeteria are included in your meal plan. It was Mark Thiessen wrote on X in a response to Turning Point USA's discussion about college students complaining about the price. And J.D. Vance responded, "You've never missed a burrito," which is a great line, honestly. Yeah. So you were asking me, what was it, about $20 burritos?
Yeah. That's what this whole thing is about. $20 burritos. So
$20 burritos.
So somebody made an offer, and like, I don't know if this is Gen Z doing Gen Z things, because Gen Z has a tendency to exaggerate, and I've done this before too. It's like, oh yeah, it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside. So are they saying that burritos are really expensive? That's what $20 means, or are they saying that it actually costs $20 for a burrito?
And Reddit user posted the image of his receipt from Chipotle that showed $21.45 for 2 chicken bowls and 1 chicken burrito with guacamole.
Okay, so that's...
They said it's not the same, but...
It's 3 burritos. But, like, the conversation and the debate is you shouldn't be buying $20 burritos. If you were saying, like, a $20 burrito, you saying you can't afford a $20 burrito is not a good argument for saying the economy's bad. But the other side of that is like what J.D. Vance is saying, is like, these people can't afford burritos, and you can't mock them for saying that. And I don't know. I'm not with J.D. Vance on this.
No,
I can't. I mean, I worked
the man's never missed a burrito. That you're telling me you're not for that line?
No, that's funny. That's good.
That's good.
You know, that sounds like something that a buddy would say to a buddy, and hopefully him and Mark Thiessen get along well enough that was just kind of a joke. Between men. But the debate is should you be spending $20 on a burrito if you can't, if like everything is high, should you be spending that money on the burrito? It's kind of like going back to yesterday's poll question. It's like, if you're in massive debt, should you be going on vacation?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel that way when I'm going through Taco Bell. I'm like, I can't afford this anymore.
You can't afford Taco Bell anymore?
For me to go through Taco Bell.
This is the real question. Like, this is the real question, because if you're saying Taco Bell is too expensive, then you've got an economic problem, and I would say Gen Z has a legitimate gripe.
I think there is some pretty big issues.
But I don't look at the I can't afford my $20 burrito as a legitimate gripe.
Yeah, and I think some of this is artificial, because these companies want you to download their stupid app to get better deals. So they give you the incentive. It's only affordable if you do it through our platform.
I see that.
If you go through the drive-through, it's like, we're ripping you off if you do that.
And I think the other side of that is, too, you tell them to take their $20 burrito and stuff it. I'm not buying your $20 burrito. You make this a $10 burrito and we'll talk. But I'm not buying your $20 burrito. And I think that's something that consumers maybe miss a little bit. If you stop buying the stuff at inflated prices, the prices will come down, because they do still want to sell the item. Right. The price of the value of an item is determined by the price somebody's willing to pay for it.
I'm just waiting for Taco Bell to drop their prices after this whole tainted lettuce thing.
They did.
Because did it come down?
Yes, and
already?
they offered a special menu items.
What, lettuce-free stuff?
Lettuce-free stuff, absolutely.
Oh, man.
Ryan, the cyclosporiasis, did I say that right?
Yeah, cyclosporiasis.
The cyclosporiasis issue has had, I drove by, I have to drive by a Taco Bell on my way home from work, and I drive by them pretty regularly because of where I live. I have never seen them that dead.
Wow.
Empty.
It doesn't surprise me, though.
So, as soon as they said,
way too much for me.
As soon as they said
diarrhea.
Taylor Farms or whatever it was, and there was a supplier of lettuce to Taco Bell, people were not going to Taco Bell.
Okay, if I go on my Taco Bell app right now, do you think I'm telling you, it's $1.99 for a crunchy taco? Do you think that price has changed?
No, not for a crunchy taco. I think that they offered deals, like value items.
Oh, you know what? I don't even think I have the app on my phone anymore. I got so frustrated paying
can't-
it. I'm like, I'm done.
You can't
going
have
there.
a Taco Bell app on your phone.
I deleted it.
I'm with you on the apps thing. I don't want an app for that. I will not get my haircut at your place if I have to have an app to get a haircut. I'm not going to buy your food if I have to have an app. I don't want your app. I want the product that you sell.
You know, I normally just shave my own head, and I have to do it less frequently. It does not grow as fast as it used to. But if I ever go into like a Great Clips, and they want you to like get the app, and they want you to sign in ahead of time and do all this and put your name down.
It's so terrible.
I always give a fake name, and they say, "Is that your phone number?" I'm like, "I'm not giving you my phone number."
Is that your phone number? It is a phone number.
I'm not doing that. Like I give, it's like 555-1212 or something like that. I give random garbage to them, and I don't give them my real name. There is no reason why you need me to give you this information. I just want you to shave my head. And it seems to be fine because they get the gist of it by the time I get in there. I'm one of those guys.
The stylist doesn't care. They don't want that. Like corporate wants your information. That stylist doesn't. They don't care.
Don't make me put any information down. You don't need to know my name if you're getting me a crunchy taco. Just give me the crunchy taco. That's all I need. Don't have to get the app involved here. All right. When we come back after the break, I found there's this one survey that came out where they looked at state by state what was the salary needed to afford a typical home in the United States. I disagree with this. I think this is like when they give these numbers out there, I think to myself, this just doesn't seem right. So we're going to talk about that coming up after the break. If you haven't already hopped on over to the live video feed, go do that and vote in the poll. It's a big one today. YouTube live chat poll is flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? There's 4 options. Go vote now while you still have time. The results at the end of this hour on 97.1 FM Talk.
PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
If you haven't had your roof checked in the last 5 years, it's time for roof maintenance. Mark Cox here for my friends at Correll Roofing Company. Listen, Curtis is going to come out, or a member of his crew, and get up on your roof for free to see what's going on. If you've got damage, I can't think of anyone better to work with your insurance adjuster to get that coverage. Recently, Curtis went to bat for one of his customers and got her coverage from 2024 storm damage with 2024 deductibles. He works hard at this and he prides himself, and he took his whole crew to Kansas City recently for additional training working with adjusters to make sure you get what you deserve. Correll Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience, and it doesn't matter what kind of shingles you need, they've got you covered. 314-222-9529. That's 314-222-9529. Tell them Mark sent you. Go to CorrellRoofingCo.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative. This segment of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by All Financial.
I don't know the words enough for this song. Dun, 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 plead the fifth. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know the words enough for this. I think you got me. I think you got me on the plead the fifth song. I don't know how to fit it in this
You
one.
just got to do it in the chorus. You don't say plead the fifth, but you just the fifth, plead the fifth.
See, I feel like I'm waiting to jump in, and they're like the girls are doing the jump rope on the playground. And I'm just
You just standing there rocking, but
and
not
I'm just
jumping.
Standing there rocking, and I can't find the right spot and the right time to hop in. I can't do this one. You got me. You got me. I can't plead the fifth on this. Sorry. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I tried. I really did. I think you might have mentally exhausted me with that.
Nailed it.
Trying to figure it out. So I'm reading this from the USA Today. They did this is the salary needed to afford a typical U.S. home in 2026. It says Americans still need to earn nearly $110,000 a year to comfortably afford a typical home in the United States. $110,000 a year. Annual income for a married couple. I saw that and I said, get out of here. That's stupid. There's no way the number is that high for you to be able to afford a home. Doesn't that seem off? Because I think about, depending on where you're living, if you are like, I'm going to force myself to live in this area and it's a rich area, then yes, I can understand that. But if you're opening the door that you want to be a homeowner and you're going to go to a place you can afford, you'll find places where you can afford homes and not make $110,000. And you'd still live in nice places. It just won't be the, highest end earner places that you may dream of for some time in the future. So I find these surveys just silly and ridiculous whenever they come up with it. You have to earn $110,000 to comfortably afford a home. Am I way off for saying that? Or am I out of line? Am I out of touch?
Are you want me to answer that?
Yeah. Am I out of touch?
No, I think you are.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I like this. We're disagreeing on something. How am I out of touch? You're telling me at $110,000 a year, you can't live comfortably in the United States with being a homeowner?
Well, they said that's the minimum, right? That a couple would need to make to afford a home
comfortably. So that the term comfortably meaning
so less
it doesn't
than
necessarily
that.
Mean it,
I in my understanding of this study is that it's just an average of the entire country. So you're going to have areas that's not enough, and that areas where that's way too much. Right. But no, when I heard that, I thought it would have been higher. Honestly,
are you serious?
Yeah,
really?
Home prices are kind of out of control. They got out of control during COVID because interest rates were super low, and building wasn't happening, and so used houses came off the market, and then they started competing. Like houses were selling for over asking, and it drove the price of homes up. But I think the other side of that is too, they don't really make entry level homes anymore. Mm-hmm. So you have to buy it used or pre-owned or you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the right word is for houses. It's escaping me for whatever reason. But you have to buy an existing home if you want to get an entry-level home. Mm-hmm. But even because of that, because of COVID and all that other stuff, people are sitting on them. You're in a point right now where people aren't able to pay what people are asking, but people still remember, no, I was able to get over asking for this, and so I know what I have, and they're just kind of sitting on it. So housing prices are pretty high, and the reason they're not making entry-level homes is because of cost of building costs. There's not enough money in it for the home manufacturers to justify, building entry homes.
Right. Okay. I think that there's a big push to try to deregulate so you can bring some of the regulation
that would be super
costs
helpful.
down.
Like in Illinois, I don't know if you know this or not, but in Illinois, every new home has to have an electric vehicle charger built into it. That's a statewide regulation.
Yeah.
So it's just
I think
stuff like that.
St. Louis did that too in the city, right? That was something that was done maybe during Lida Cruisen, where they basically said the same thing, where you had to get it built into it. I thought that was kind of silly to mandate that you have to have it, but then I realized maybe I misunderstood the technology. They just needed the hookup wired before you put the drywall up inside the garage. So that is a little bit different than putting the charging station in. It was just the infrastructure to put it in. Are you saying Illinois wants you to have
the charger,
the charger? Well, that's ridiculous. That's an extra couple $1,000s, right? How much does it cost? $2,000 to put one of those in?
I don't know. I'm not an EV person, so I'm not really looked into it, but I know that it's not cheap because you have to, if you want a fast charger, you have to have whatever it is, not 220, but whatever the higher one is. Maybe it is 220, but you have to have the big voltage going, and that's not cheap to get put in because electricians know what they're doing and they charge for it.
Well, that's the same thing. Like when I moved into the house that we live in here in Michigan, we upgraded from a 100 to 150 panel, and it was they used the old fuses or whatever. And I thought, the electrician said, if you just want us to put a 200 in, but here's the problem. If you're going to go up to that and you weren't at that already, you have to contact your electric company. They're going to require you to bury the line because that's what they want now. So now you're talking about digging a trench, and depending on where the pole is, over multiple property lines. And then on top of that, you have to apply and you got to get the permits. And it would cost so much extra money to upgrade my panel in order to put something like that in. It wouldn't make sense for me to do that.
Well, and here's the other side of that. It's a mandate now, so it's not something you can say no to, which means that
in Illinois.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Which means that those guys can basically charge whatever they want, and you can't say no. It's not like the $20 burrito where you can say, no, thank you, I'm not going to get that, lower your prices. The government's saying, no, you have to have that. And so the manufacturers, the people, the electricians that put it in are saying, okay, well, we can charge what we want because the government says that you have to have that. So it actually stifles competition and raises prices.
I'm just going to say this. If you're making $110,000 and you're complaining that you can't afford housing, that is ridiculous to me. Let me phrase it that way. That just seems so off to me. I cannot accept that I'm out of touch on that. And there's some things that I'm willing to say, I am just a stingy old man. I'm willing to admit that to a lot of things. This is one I just can't comprehend.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I take you to an area in New York, and it's like there's no way you're going to afford a nice home in New York on $110,000 a year salary.
Oh, yeah. New York's different. I mean, well, if you're talking about New York City.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you'd want to move to New York State anyway. That's kind of a
me neither.
mess.
Me neither. I'm not moving out of Illinois to go to New York State.
Yeah. If you like being a gun owner, good luck in a state like New York. Some of these where the gun regulations are just crazy. So that's basically what they said. According to a report from Redfin, they found that a household would need an annual income of about $110,000 to purchase a medium-priced home while spending no more than 30% of their income in housing costs. So they try to break it down when it comes to, how much of your paychecks actually go into it. But what they also found is no one necessarily lives comfortably in that sense. Everyone that seems to be a homeowner seems to, break that rule in some way. It's not necessarily.
I got a text message. I got a text message from somebody from California who says that the starting home in California is like $800,000.
I know that back when it was like $500,000 and I laughed at it. Yeah. Now it's 800.
It's ridiculous.
What's the point of living in California?
Well,
now
that person doesn't live in California anymore.
What's the point? I mean, of all the places.
For real. Like if you live in California right now and you're like, oh, everything's expensive, sell your home, buy a super nice home in some other part of the country and pocket the rest of it.
Exactly. And just don't ruin where you're moving. Don't try to make it into a little California.
Don't California your Texas.
Right, exactly. Don't be a loser and try to force this California on places that they're happy so you can make everyone else miserable. Don't do it. I'm just out of touch, I guess. What's the old meme from The Simpsons? You have Principal Skinner. Am I out of touch? No,
it's the
children
kid
who are wrong.
Yeah.
I saw the headline here from USA Today. It just popped up. Mitch McConnell is given a health update and says he's been discharged. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that he's no longer in hospital rehab, and now he's discharged to finish recovery at home.
He needs to just retire already.
Just get through November. At this point, it's have an election again in like 2 weeks. It seems like a gigantic waste.
So he announced today that he was discharged from the rehab center 53 days after he was rushed to the hospital. It's been 53 days. That's a long time. I didn't realize it was almost 2 months he's been sitting in there. Began the extended absence and raised speculation about his health. I got to say, I was looking at some of the conspiracy theories about the condition that he was in. I'm still skeptical. Even if he is released, I don't think that he could even go and perform a farewell speech, even if he wanted to. It sounds like this is like we may not even see him on the Senate floor ever again. It sounds really bad what he went through, and it's not looking good.
Yeah.
We did this yesterday, the morality scaling. I have some more scenarios for you. Do you want to go through some of those after the break?
Do it.
And this is pretty good, too, because there's another story that's associated with one of these morality scalings. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for the Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
I was leaving a customer's home and I was out in Illinois, and as I was driving away, my fan for my air conditioner went out. I had to cross back over into St. Louis where there was bridge construction, so massive rush hour, backed up traffic, windows down, sweating. I had to take it straight to the dealership to drop it off because there's no way I can function, much less work, without air conditioning in my truck. And I'm the same way in my house, and every homeowner, not every homeowner, but most homeowners are the exact same way. So if you're experiencing difficulties with your air conditioner, meaning you have none, call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois. Call me. God bless.
Every week on the Moth Podcast, you'll hear true stories that will intrigue you, inspire you, and make you laugh.
He said, is there anything in your diet that might be spiking your blood sugar? I said, sometimes I eat pizza until I'm unconscious. He said, I think that might be it.
For real stories live on stage from comedians, astronauts, accountants, farmers, and people just like you, follow and listen to The Moth wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Hey, guys, I am monitoring the text line here. I will give you a little advice here. Make your text short and sweet. Whenever you send a big long text, it breaks it up and it scatters it all over. Like, it doesn't come in one chunk. It gives me bits and pieces, and I have to spend too much time trying to figure out what order they go in to try to make that work. But we do want to know what you think on flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? Fully support, mostly support, mostly oppose, or even completely oppose because you think it's a clear sign of government overreach. Vote on the poll. Shoot us a text. Let us know what you're thinking. That's 314-241-9797. Keep it short and simple, and we might read that text on the air. The time is 2:35. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
This is perfect for Dr. Fauci because it's spin doctors, right? Man, did he spin already.
The spin doctor.
It's so perfect.
And
the
if
spin
you-
doctor. Plead the fifth. Plead in the fifth.
Oh,
the
man,
spin doctor.
that one needs to be rewritten.
Oh, all right. We did this yesterday, the morality scaling, and I wanted to read some more scenarios for you, and you can tell me if the moral level of it, if there's any moral problems with the scenario. Where do you want to start off? You want to start off with absurd? All right.
Yeah, let's
do
go.
this. Guy caught 2 thieves breaking into his home and held them at gunpoint and said, 2 thieves forced to kiss each other after being caught. So he said, "Oh, you want to break into my home? This is the punishment."
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Under gunpoint, the punishment is you 2 kiss each other. I'm going to use
Now-
the self-defense.
Now you got to kiss one another.
Now you got to kiss each other. The 2 dudes. This looks like, if I had to guess, this was India or somewhere like that. It was not in the United States, so
Oh,
put it
man.
that way. Okay. Is that morally acceptable?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll allow it.
Okay, here's one. Guy did a social experiment. He stood on the side of the road on a rainy day, and every time someone drove by, hit a puddle and splashed him. He documented it. So he said, social experiment, does holding a brick in my hand make drivers slow down? So he does this. The morality of implying a threat to a car driver to make them slow down near you on a road. Is that okay? Is that morally all right?
Like, if you're not on the road, leave it alone, you know. But I do think it's a funny
Hold the
social
brick.
experiment.
If you splash that dude, the guy's got a brick in his hand. You don't want to risk that, right? Okay,
Right.
so morally acceptable?
No.
No?
Funny, but not morally acceptable. And I think that's kind of what makes it funny. Because
Okay.
this is
So
ridiculous.
there's a story, and I think this happened over in the UK, at a Wales hospital. Some guy dressed up as the Grim Reaper outside the window of hospitals. So the morality of reminding hospital patients about death is that he got arrested, by the way. That
Yeah.
guy was
Yeah, I
arrested.
could see that. I can
Grim
see that.
Reaper arrested for hospital disturbance. So the morality of it, is it morally okay?
No, that's not okay. I mean, like, that's one of those things that you joke about in private, but you don't actually do. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if? But you don't do it. You laugh when somebody else does it and then gets in trouble for it.
Okay. How about this one? Morality of leaving your fiance on your wedding day so you can be with the true love of your life.
Ooh, hot take here. I think it's better that you leave your fiance on the wedding day rather than after the wedding.
Yeah.
I think it's more moral to like even up to the moment
Before it starts.
If you've got any doubt at all, don't get married.
Okay. That's I think a good take.
Okay.
Well,
But I think
isn't
you
that
knew
tough?
before that moment.
Yes, you did. It was pretty wrong of you to wait till that moment to do it. Which is a movie that just came out with Kevin James, Solo Mio. Have you seen that?
No.
one? It is Angel Studios, so
Okay.
it's like a PG rom-com.
Okay.
And it has Kim Coates is in it. It has I forgot some of her names. There are some other actors you definitely recognize in it. And I watched it with my wife, and it was good. So it's a Kevin James stood up at the altar movie, and he's doing a destination wedding in Italy when it happens. So he decides to, take the honeymoon package for himself. And it's not like a goofy movie. It's not a goofy Kevin James. It's like a, serious Kevin
one.
James, but he's still Kevin James.
Yeah.
So it's got that element to it. Worth watching. I would recommend it. And since it's Angel Studio, they're, Christian, but they're not necessarily, the theme isn't Christianity, but it
Right.
is like, you're not going to watch anything and be like, oh, that's like, turn the TV off stuff.
Yeah.
Morality of euthanasia as an option for mentally insane and dangerous individuals.
Euthanasia?
Yeah. Let's say they didn't commit a crime, but they're mentally insane,
Yeah.
dangerous individuals.
No, you can't deprive them of their life if they haven't done something. Like, you can't deprive them of their life because they might deprive somebody of their life.
Okay.
So that's
no, I don't think so either. Morality of ditching your family to spend the last few months of your life traveling the world with a billionaire you just met.
That's completely immoral.
You think so?
That's terrible.
That's the plot of Bucket List.
Yeah.
Remember the bucket list you have?
Wait.
Morgan Freeman
Hold on. So this isn't like a romantic leave your family for a billionaire thing.
No, this is just
okay.
Spend your time the way your bucket list. This is Morgan Freeman in what was the Jackson or not Jackson?
Yeah,
what's his name?
I don't see how I mean it. I think you're an immoral person if you think that you're going to have more value in your life doing whatever with a billionaire than you are spending that time with your family.
Jack Nicholson is the name I was trying to come up with.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the morality of hiding a cancer diagnosis from an older patient? This is a common practice in parts of Asia. So they're old. Do you want them to worry about it in the end of life?
What I mean is so I've heard this about prostate cancer, and I admit I could be wrong about this, but prostate cancer moves very slowly. And so there are elderly gentlemen that get diagnosed with prostate cancer, but the cancer is going to move so slowly that old age will get them before cancer even becomes an issue.
Okay.
I do think you should tell the patient, though. I don't think that you should just not tell them that. But
okay. Well, what if you don't want them to worry about it?
I would listen, this isn't going to be an issue in your life, so much so that I'm not even going to do a treatment plan for you because it's not going to move fast enough to matter.
Yeah.
But you need to know this so that your family, like a family history kind of thing, would know if prostate cancer would pop up earlier in the life of one of your children.
Okay. Morality of pirating publicly funded research papers.
Pirating, like stealing them? Or are they behind a paywall or something?
They're behind a paywall, but they're publicly funded.
No, those things shouldn't be behind a paywall. I think it's immoral to put them behind a paywall, but I still don't think because you think you own it, because you paid, it's publicly funded, I don't think you should steal it.
Well, it's almost like someone is forcing you to pay for something that they don't own themselves.
Right,
So
right.
you can go and get it's freely available, but you go to a site that just happens to charge for it and you don't know better. So they're taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
I don't see any moral problem with just getting it. And I will say this, people that are listening here, when it comes to these type of papers, if you were to email the person that wrote the paper, they will 100 times out of 100 times just give you it because they want you to read it.
Just, acquire it don't steal it from that site. Acquire it in a legal manner.
Right. Well, is it really stealing then? If
it's
you're
not
getting it from someone that stole it.
Pirating it. Well, pirating it is pirating it. No, how did it get on their website and behind a paywall anyway?
It would be like, let's say you took something that was like, this sounds stupid, but you got your tax forms from the library, the 1040 filing season, and then you posted online and said, okay, I got a copy of the tax form for 99 cents, which is publicly available through the government. That would be immoral for you to charge for that, as if a service to you to try to give it to someone else. But if they were to acquire it through you and not pay you, I wouldn't have any problem with that. I don't think that's morally wrong.
My thing is this: is you can acquire it from the library for $0.
Right. Yeah. Here's another one. Morality of purposely making TSA agents uncomfortable by pretending to like the search too much.
Everybody needs a good laugh.
So, okay, we're going to have to put you for a search. I'm moaning. Making it very uncomfortable. Okay, is that morally okay?
Ooh, what's that?
Okay. Can that be outside the grounds of morality?
No, I think that's funny.
Okay, how's this one? The morality of telling a paranoid schizophrenic they have telepathy.
That's immoral. Funny, but immoral.
This one's a real life example. Morality of cloning yourself to harvest organs.
Immoral.
So immoral.
Immoral.
Okay. Well, you saw the story about how that billionaire's got the disease or whatever, and he's doing that basically.
Yeah, that's immoral. Was it Prince Harry that wrote a book called The Spare?
I don't think so. I don't know that one.
But like, I don't know if this is an old wives' tale or conspiracy theory, but that royals have 2 children so that the younger child can be the organ donor for the older child or something like that in the event that something terrible happens.
So how do you explain that to people? Like, oh yeah, our kid's not around anymore? Or are you talking about like a spare one, like a
kidney, lung, something like that?
So something you can spare. Okay. Well, that's a good question. The young one's there for just organs. Can I tell you this real quick? If you look at your children as a harvest, you're a terrible parent.
Mm-hmm.
A terrible, terrible parent.
Yep. Prince Harry called his book Spare. Spare.
So he was the spare. He thought he was the one.
That's how that is.
Well, that's what that's
implying.
Queen.
Probably.
Just a baby drama queen. That's kind of the whole thing about his leaving and all that. He's such a loser. All right. I know we have to read the poll results. We'll do that after the break. Is there still time to vote? I think there's.
Yeah, I haven't closed the poll yet. So.
All right. YouTube live chat poll. Flock cameras in our communities. Where do you stand? You fully support, mostly oppose, completely oppose. We're getting a full range of answers right now. I am on the completely oppose bandwagon, but man, I can't wait to see how these results pan out. I'm Rya Wrecker, filling in for Annie Frey. One more segment left, 97.1 FM Talk.
Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
License number GL2500615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Homeowners, a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling. That's leaving money on the table. Hey, it's Mark Cox, and I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure they're getting top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my buyers in waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. Call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Plead the fifth. Kind of fits. It's the Annie Frey Show. I'm Rya Wrecker filling in. We only got a couple more minutes. It's still time to go vote in the YouTube chat poll, and we do have it on Flock. So if you got a idea of these cameras in our communities, if you want to go sound off on that, it's your last chance. All right, one last thing. I saw this over on the New York Post. A healthcare executive suffered a traumatic brain injury at a Yankees game when a player who was batting hit the ball, bat came out of his hand, went into the stands, knocked her in the noggin, the lady, okay? Got really hurt. She was not good. A 37-year-old chief of staff at a Bronx community care is now suing the Yankees for $10 million because the bat went into the stands. I don't think that's going to go anywhere, right?
Man, you go there. Don't they have warnings all over the place saying that this is, be aware of objects entering and or leaving the playing field?
Yeah. It says the bat left his hand mid-swing. The protective netting did nothing to stop the high-speed bat, according to the lawsuit filed in Manhattan. Suit claims the netting was significantly lower than adjacent sections, leaving it unprotected. So it was a malfunction in the netting that caused the injury, not necessarily that, balls going to the stands, bats going to the stands. If you're behind netting, is it reasonable to think that the netting should do its job if you're relying on it? And if the netting doesn't do its job, can the Yankees be responsible? I think that's the way.
Man, that's tough because, did the Yankees do by putting the netting up? Did the Yankees go above and beyond what is required of them?
Yeah.
I mean, there used to not be any netting.
In the backstop, there wasn't any netting? I don't remember.
Oh, you're saying in the backstop.
Yeah, they were right by the back.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you put the netting up. If you got proper, you did your due diligence, I don't see how that can be the Yankees' fault.
Yeah, I don't think it is. We'll see how it goes. All right, we should probably end this. I know you said there's a lot of comments on this YouTube live chat poll.
The comments are difficult to come across, but there are some comments out there. Here's one from Automation. It says, to me, flock camera is not anything different than having a cop stand in the same place. You just get cameras cheaper, so it's like having a cop there all the time. Yes and no. I kind of see your point in that, but also I would say that it's the integration in the data center that it's not just a cop standing there.
Right. It's kind of the same thing when they had the red light cameras, and Charlie Brennan, to his credit, fought the law and he won, because the idea is you need to have, if someone's going to write you a ticket, they need to represent it to you. So I think the same thing. You need someone to represent it. So standing by the roadside, it's not a great analogy, I don't think.
Yep. G-Wib says, I'm for cameras in general, as long as they have limits. Red light one set up for flagrantly running a red light. Speeding cams only set for 15 plus miles an hour over the limit. Flocks are not for personal use, etc. So that's from G Wibs. And then Sassy Pants says flock cameras are sold as a moneymaker for municipalities. So they believe that they got them there. And then Clementine says, a few people I know are involved with flock, and I can say this up front. If not flock, it will be someone else, and it's being regulated. Judges approve different law enforcement agencies, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what our listeners are saying. Ryan, you said you are...
I am completely opposed.
Completely opposed.
Just completely opposed. Which one are you on?
Yeah, I'm completely opposed as well. Like, I understand all the arguments for it, but my distrust of government is so high that there's no way that I want to put a tool in the hand of a government that could eventually become tyrannical and be used very seriously against us.
There was another argument that you mentioned maybe last hour, and I hate this argument, which is if your kid was the one that was kidnapped, wouldn't you want these flock cameras to be around? I hate arguments like that. It's basically, it would be like saying, you know how many lives we would save if we got rid of cars and alcohol, and if we got rid of flying, and we did this and we did that. Isn't it worth one life to get rid of all traffic?
It saves one life.
If it saves one life. Or, if you're in a car and you're wearing your seatbelt, it's not enough. You need to wear a helmet on the way to work from here on out. When you're behind a wheel, anyone in your car needs to be, because you'll save so many lives that way. And you'll say, that's kind of a stretch when it comes to intrusion. So those type of arguments, I think, are kind of nonsense.
In debate class, they call that the appeal to emotion fallacy.
Yeah. All right. I can't wait to hear the results.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get the music started here. And with, what do we got? Like 150 votes in. This one is still close, but the lowest is fully support. I trust the government. That has 8%. That's the lowest. Next one up, mostly oppose, but I don't trust them. That's 15%. Then at 37%, completely oppose. Clear overreach has 37%. And then with 40% of the vote, mostly support needs limits. But if you do the math, more than 50% of the population oppose them, with 48% of the population approving.
Wow. Okay, that was a close one. I'll be back again tomorrow, filling in for Annie Frey. We're going to have some fun tomorrow, Brad. Good talking to you. Mark Reardon coming up next.